can support this show at patreon.com/ASA podcasting.
The wasteland is a post-apocalyptic mess as the sole survivor wanders out about to see the rest. Nuclear explosions sending out the gamma rays from deep within the core, frozen atomic waste. From deep within the core, frozen atomic waste.
Hello and welcome to the 420th edition of the Fallout Feed. We are the show who compares and contrasts Fallout experiences through a lively roundtable discussion by playing through the same quest with characters who have been randomly assigned drastically different attributes. Welcome, everyone. I am Andrew, joined tonight by a flock of my favorite Fallout folks. Tonight, we have returning fan favorite, Clint. What's up, Clint?
Good evening, all.
Also, Jess. What's going on, Jess?
Hey, Andrew. Greets, everybody.
And Ray. What's up, Ray?
Hello, hello.
Tonight on the show, we will start off with our gameplay as usual, and then we will go into our roundtable quest for the evening, which is Best Left Forgotten. And also, we've got a little bit of feedback, Solior poked in here. We've got game time set up. Also, a little bit of Iguana Bits and a couple of shouts on our way out the door. So let's go ahead and roll into it. Hey, Jess, did you get a chance to play any video games this week?
I did. In fact, last week I was lamenting the fact that I'd played 76 on PlayStation and PC, but hadn't even touched the Xbox season or scoreboard yet as of last show. So I made up for that in spades over the weekend. We had a fun time at the Gato doing what we call the biggest cucumber, which is where you try to get over cucumbered with certain items and make it back to a point, and whoever has like the most weight at the end wins. That was a lot of fun. A significant amount of math. When you're playing a game in Fallout and it involves an Excel spreadsheet, well, I mean, to be fair, that's basically what we do here with our character generators.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were tracking people's scores and stuff on an Excel spreadsheet and comparing back and forth. But it was a really good time. But of course, after that, I'm like, okay, this was not exactly playing Fallout. It was a stream, and I'm like, let's get in there and do it. So I did all my weeklies and dailies overnight on Saturday. You joined in for a little bit, caught you out there, killed our first Ogua with you. Solior, a bunch of friends dropped by on the server overnight.
What's
That's one of the great things about.
Sorry, what's your cucumbered strategy? I'm sort of interested in that.
Oh, you mean for actually winning the game, or do you mean dealing with being cucumbered?
Are there like rules and stipulations, or you just go out for the heaviest stuff?
So here's the heaviest stuff can be great when we do what we call the Junkashine run, and that's one where you drink Nukashine and have to make it back while collecting junk. Cucumber is more specific, so you have specific starting locations, and you have to collect the categories. So the first time we have you start in the mire and you have to collect junk. Okay, that's more normal. Second time we have you start in the ash heap and you have to collect weapons or wearables like weapons, armor, ammo. And the third time you start up at West Virginia Lumber Company and you have to make it back. All these times you're going back to the White Spring. You have to make it back collecting food. So you only have half an hour to do it. Now, the thing is, when you get cucumbered, as you know, you waddle really slow, right?
Yeah.
Like really slow. So if you try to get yourself cucumbered too early, you're going to have a hard time making it back in time. So my strategy is to focus on the goal up to the up close to max weight, but then before I'm actually walking slow to get, within not far from the end goal, or like the nearest location that has a lot of the item I'm looking for, and then stock up there and just waddle the rest of the way back.
Are you allowed to use perk cards?
Yeah. This one is a perk card event, and I wasn't playing. I was just kind of refereeing and hopping around watching people.
I just learned in Fallout 4 that strength has different. The carry weight one, Strongback, has different perks. Once you get to like the level 3, you can keep walking without being slowed down, or you can fast travel without, while over encumbered. So does 76 also have like those sort of different levels of, or is it just carry weight increased by 10, 20, 40, 50?
Yeah, because it's all survival. As you know, there aren't the different modes you can do, so it doesn't have that. Also, the encumbrance thing is, different built in. That when you get over cucumbered, you can still move. It's not like in Fallout 4 where you have to just walk super, super slow until, until you fix it. Like in 76, right? You can still walk fine, but you can't run. And then you walk really slow when you run out of AP.
Out of AP, right.
You
Isn't
can't
that
fast
correct?
travel. No.
Yeah, and you can't fast travel either way.
Just
So,
never
yeah, I
messed
can't-
with it much in 76. And I just recently discovered it's not one, that's not a perk I usually pay attention to.
Yeah, we've all done that long walk back, like after getting ore at the Lucky Hole mine, stuff like that. You know what I mean? When you're way cucumber, you're doing some run and you're like, I am not going to drop any of this junk. Especially in the time before scrap kits and, survival tents. And man, we're so cushy these days.
Oh, we're spoiled.
But yes, but they always made it easier to travel while over cucumbered in 76. Although, obviously, it's been like 2 years now that we've had the 1500 limit, that there is a hard limit, that there's a certain threshold where you do start going really slow. And then at 1500, you can't even move. You can't even move unless you drop stuff.
Breaks your ankles.
Yep. It was heck on some people. Heck on some people's
Yeah,
meals.
that's where Lee lives.
Yep.
Is $14.99.
Yeah, I've done some long walks with Lee over the years just for fun. You want me to take something? No, I can do it.
That's brilliant. Yeah, they've got no Piper to offload things to or anything. So that's the cucumber. It's a fun run. It's it takes 2-3 hours of competition. We give people a half hour per run from each location, but then there's the math in between and other stuff. So yeah, a good 2 hours at least.
Very cool.
But while we were actually doing the grind, it was fun Saturday to get that done. I'm back to my strategy where I'm like, I'm going to do all the weeklies in one day and then the dailies for that day. With the new score booster, I'm finding the best strategy is because they last 24 hours. So if you use one on a weekend, like middle of the day, open a score booster, say Saturday afternoon or evening, and then it's going to be active until Sunday afternoon or evening the next day. So you can get 2 days worth of dailies. And if you save your weeklies, all your weeklies in there while having the score booster up. And that's really nice.
Still haven't used a score booster. Plus, I think I've unlocked a few on the scoreboard, too. I should probably go ahead and pop a few of those.
Definitely, yeah. Next time before you do them, especially if you haven't done your weeklies yet.
Yeah,
Whoa, they
save
count
them
on
for
the weeklies? That's not fair.
I think it works on both. I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure it works on both.
I'm
All of them.
surprised,
It does.
because
It does.
why wouldn't they have their score boost work on weeklies then, too? It seems like the same goddamn principle.
Oh, they do. No, they do. So like when you get your Fallout First 10% boost, that works too. You're talking about the double score weekend.
Double score, yeah.
Yeah, double score weekend they don't, because I guess it would be unequal, perhaps, in that some people may have done their weekly, some may have not. Or I don't know, it's maybe just a programming thing. Who knows?
Yeah. The weeklies don't give you double score if you wait till the weekend to do them. We tried that out really early in the piece.
Mm-hmm. But this new strategy is pretty darn good. It's a nice boost. And I mentioned last week, but I'll reiterate again at the top of the show since it was at the end last week. If you are wondering where the hell this is, on the main menu, if you open the scoreboard, you'll find the button to activate your score booster. They are not in your Pip-Boy. It is not a regular consumable. It is on the main menu in the scoreboard. You activate them. You might think, wait, okay, can I activate it when I'm in the game on a character playing on a map in the scoreboard by opening it there? No. On the main menu in the scoreboard.
No, it's up the top.
Can you do it when you're actually on a server too?
Yep, right up the top.
Oh, good. Okay, so you can
Above
do it
where
there
all
too.
the scores is. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, you can set
awesome.
it off there. Yep.
So you
it
can do it
around,
either. I thought you had to be on the main menu, so that's nice at least. I've only done mine for the main menu so far. But
And it won't let you do a second one. So if you've started one, you think, oh, I'll spend 2 or 3 of them and get lots of boost. No, it doesn't work.
yeah, being
I tried.
being a 24-hour deal, like in real time, is actually kind of neat. It makes them a little bit more useful, or encourages you to get them in. Anyway, I got all that, and then I over the course of the week, so I played Sunday for quite a bit, Saturday into Sunday, and then I played a lot again on Wednesday. Got a lot of 76 in, and yeah, I'm actually doing good. I'm up to about 24 on the scoreboard, rank 24, which might not sound like a lot, but considering I was at 0 Saturday morning, getting to rank 24 in under a week, that's not bad. So you can see that with the boosters, things are going to go faster.
Yeah, I noticed Clint said he was up at 47 or something already, and
Yeah.
I'm at 45. And I was like, wait a second, I've done them all every day. Oh, I haven't taken any of those boosters yet. So
Right. But you have unlocked the Fallout first boosters along the route on the map, right?
Well, there's only one so far, maybe two.
There's two at least.
I think there's two. What are they? Every 15 levels or something?
And of course, it's also about that experience rollover. You know, I'm not sure. So there hasn't said in chat, but he's probably mid 50s. Last I knew, got another friend who's 60. We actually have 2 or 3 shout outs for Scorecation already because some ridiculous people have done it in less than 2 weeks and actually finished the board.
Am I remembering wrong that last season they took that away, but they brought it back this season or something? What happened there?
They never took it away. I think you're thinking of the fact that we can't get the XP rollover in custom ever. We can never get XP rollover in custom, so we have to do it in regular.
I thought there was some weirdness.
Yeah,
last
no,
season,
for like 2 or 3 days at the beginning of the season.
Okay, right.
Yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah, I was really annoyed. I'm like, man, if they don't fix this, but it was just for like 2 days at most.
They took it away and people revolted, and so they threw it back in real quick, right?
I believe them that was an error. But yeah, you know, people are wondering, well, are they giving us a score boost because this is a shorter season? Technically, we don't necessarily know it's a shorter season. The fact that they said next season, starts at the end of August, that we have 10 weeks. Okay, that makes sense. But they didn't give a specific date. So it's subject to change. But yeah, I'm thinking they must have been planned all along. You know what I mean? This is just another consumable people can buy or earn.
Where are people getting that end of August date from?
On the actual community calendar. So on the community calendar, it says, let's see, August, season 14, United We Stand. It doesn't actually have a date there, but it doesn't have a specific date, but it would be after QuakeCon and the high score week in the middle of the month. And then Meat Week starts at the end of August. So we're expecting the next season will probably roll out with Meat Week. Because also less than 10 weeks, that would be ridiculous. Like 10 itself is going to be short. If they make it only 8 or 9 weeks, that would be way too short.
I agree. There should only be 4 seasons a year.
Yes, exactly. Quarterly. Why not? It works for, people enjoy things being predictable.
Works for our calendar seasons. Why not our game seasons?
But
and
this one,
not everyone can spend a lot of time on the game like we do, and so they're hampered by that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. When you can only play a day or 2 a week, it's doable, and they've made it more doable. But yeah, they don't want to go overboard with it. But this is possibly the fastest season. They're keeping all the changes they made last time with you need 6 to get the weekly. But we found out, our 6 to get the gold star on the day that counts towards your weekly. But as we learned last time, we thought, oh, this is going to be worse. And it wasn't. The rerolls and everything else, it actually went quicker last season, which was ironic considering it was such a long season, everything going faster for 16 weeks. But
don't forget, if you're at level 50, you're not at halfway.
Yeah.
Because they go up by 25.
You're a third of the way there. Yeah.
Yeah, so you've got to get more score on the second 50 than the first, a lot more.
Yep. Although the fact that you unlock the Fallout first boosts along the way does kind of even out that curve. You know what I mean?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
But it still takes longer to do the
second
last
half,
25%. Yeah.
Those last 20 always take longer for sure. For sure. So yeah, I got my 76 in this week. A lot of that doing those. Funny thing from the update that was found too. I don't know if I mentioned last week, but all the plushies, well, not all the plushies, but several of the plushies, 4 or 5 of them were kind of saved backwards on the base file somehow. So they've all flipped around in your camp. So if you've got plushies in your camp that are suddenly like ignoring you, facing the wall like they've been a bad Scorchbeast queen.
Oh.
Haven't looked for that.
Yeah, a lot of them flipped around. A couple of the super mutants, I think the Wanamingo, I think the Earl, the Colossus plushie, I think 1 or 2 fuzzies. The baby Mothman,
weird.
definitely. So yeah, maybe like a third of the plushies are flipped around the wrong way, which, especially people who did special plushie merges, was very annoying.
Who did the plushie bar? Was that Bob? Who did the plushie bar? He's gonna have a mess on his hands. They all got drunk, fall off their stools.
Yeah, it's funny. Sillior says it was a poltergeist. I mean, it is kind of creepy though. It's I talked about how we did that plushie plunge game last week and having some of them flipped around backwards. Like it is like they're ignoring you. It's pretty funny. But really, that was all of my 76 gameplay. Just 2-3 days of that. I didn't really get to play much Fallout 4 this week. I tried once or twice, but as I mentioned to you guys, been working extra long hours and a lot of stuff up, so didn't do that. But I did over the weekend get some other stuff done. Well, nothing to talk about. I actually binged some TV, which is definitely not an excuse for not playing enough Fallout 4.
I do at the same time.
I finished all of Warehouse 13 again, my comfort show. So that's great. Yeah.
Always a good time.
Got my voice lines done for Modus Files. That Modus Files. Oh, I did want to mention here at the top of the show, season finale coming out this weekend, probably.
Sweet. Look for your podcatchers.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one.
Awesome. Any other stuff you want to mention there, Jess?
Not really. Not for gameplay. I didn't get to try the PTS, but I know Ray did, so I'm looking forward to hearing some of that.
Well, let's go ahead and roll into that. How'd the PTS go, Ray?
Well, it was kind of interesting. So I saw the post that, people were talking about it, and, it intrigued me that, that there was new stuff in there that they weren't going to talk about, and that they wanted you to start a new character. And so I figured, since the PTS won't impact my school retirement, I'll go ahead and jump in and try it out. And so I loaded it up and got an error.
No, really?
Couldn't get into the game. So then I thought, well, you know what? I better check my regular 76, see if I've been kicked out of the club, because it said there was a problem with my client. And so I checked that. It still worked.
Like, you haven't played in a year. We're kicking you out.
I didn't log into any characters, so
we're accepting your Fallout first.
Yeah, no, I dropped Fallout first a while ago.
Oh, okay.
So I came back into this morning and, was still getting errors and, looking around, trying to find anything that, no conversation about it. And then I tried logging in again and got that the servers were being updated. I'm like, okay, this is progress. So I waited a little bit longer, tried again, and sure enough, game fired up, and I started a new character. So as I was, going to name the character, it just kind of, named himself. So his name is Ben A While.
What do you mean named
I'm
himself?
looking at that now.
That's totally a
great.
Ray name.
Has he had that name for long?
Yeah, all his life.
It's been a bit.
And so, I'm like, okay. So let's see. Did they make it so you could pick up more stuff in the vault? No.
Okay.
Did they make it so you can go into more rooms in the vault? Nope, that's not it. And so finally I'm like, okay, forget it. I'm just going to leave like I always do. And as soon as you walk out of the vault, it drops you into a screen where you get to choose whether you're going to be a brand new vault dweller and start out at level 1, or you can be an experienced vault dweller and start out at level 20.
I don't think most of the people we associate with would consider level 20 an experienced anything.
Yeah, that's a
No.
dead set newbie, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's a little better than fresh out the vault.
I mean, you can
Not
get to
much.
level 20 in an afternoon.
Yeah. Well, and so the interesting thing is that so when you start it, so there's no way now to start, naked and afraid.
Yep.
So you start out at level 1 and you've got to choose whether you're going to be unarmed, melee, pistols, shotguns, rifles, or a VAT specialist.
Wait,
I'd
so
say all of the above.
Yeah, it's neat. So for a while, before we go much further, I do want to mention that people haven't made a new character recently. They did change it about a year ago, where you started getting more stuff when you left the vault, and again recently. So you got a weapon, you got a little bit of armor, you got a kind of like a care package when you left the vault. Anyway, now there was nothing else new at that point. It was just like the original, the last 3 years. But you did get a care package of stuff to take with you, so you weren't quite as naked and afraid. But now Ray is talking about these new things where you're getting to choose kind of basically a build as well, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So, so I chose rifles. So I got a short 308. I got like 260 bullets and a full set of leather armor, a bunch of food, a bunch of stim packs and Radaway.
Damn, Daniel.
All kinds of stuff. Now, if you choose I think there was 4 level 20 builds. And with that, you've got all of your specials selected for that, up to level 20. So the melee build, they give you a bunch of strength and some strength cards. All of your card slots are now, full of different cards, for that particular kind of build. And interestingly enough, there was no level 20 rifle build.
There wasn't. Oh, gee,
No.
I thought that there was one of each. I thought there was going to be pistol, rifle,
No.
Shotgun, the usual. Interesting. What did they call it? Was there a stealth sniper?
No. So there's the VATS build, and I didn't look to see what weapons you got with that one. So that one might be the rifle build.
Mm-hmm.
But I went with the level 1 build. So it was kind of interesting. So everything else was kind of the same. The I don't know how long it's been that they swapped the enemies in the parking lot. They were always the robots.
Yes,
The little commie robots.
Yep.
Now they were ghouls.
Oh, that is new. That is brand new on the PTS. It's been Liberators even yesterday.
Okay. So that was interesting to see, that was different. I went to the Moonshiner Shack. So the other thing is that, when I played before, I always played in a private world.
Mm-hmm.
And so now that I don't have Fallout First anymore, I can only play in public world. And so that's really weird. So I don't know, the 2 Moonshiners were dead.
Oh, that's weird. Yeah, that must have been somebody else because, I mean, unless they changed the PTS, that would be odd.
The ticks were still there. The ticks were alive.
Yeah,
Maybe the ticks were just
might have-
extra aggressive.
The ticks might have taken them out.
Yeah. But so
Often
what was
they'll
that?
kill the ticks before you can get there. If you
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
'cause I
had
was
been my previous experience since
Yeah,
those guys showed up there. But went to the Wayward. That's exactly the same.
Mm-hmm.
Went to the Overseer's camp. That's still exactly the same. And I went to Flatwoods, and that was the same. So that's all the further I got. So I haven't seen anything else different. The biggest thing was, the starting, choosing your build at that point.
So when you leave, it sounds like if you go with the level 20, there's build, and they give you all the appropriate specials and perk cards that would be applicable. But when you leave, when you're level 0 or level 1 or whatever, they just they don't actually give you any specials or anything yet. It just determines what you get in your care
appropriate
package.
Equipment for the build.
What kind of stuff you get.
So you're still kind of naked and afraid if you don't want to use whatever they give you or whatever. Okay, I understand better now.
I mean, it was so easy to, to just go down to the parking lot and hit the postman, pick up your melee weapon, and go from there.
So the philosophy behind this, one of the things that they've heard the most for people is that 76 is too complicated. Okay, those of us who have stewed in this pot for a long time, like the frogs we are.
It's like the story of the two frogs who fell in a pan of boiling milk. One of them said, "I'm done for," and he gave up and died. The other one started flapping his little froggy arms, flapping his arms, till finally he was standing on a big chunk of cheese.
Kind of maybe forget how much more complicated the system is with perk cards and the way things work in 76 compared to some of the previous games, as far as people knowing what to do and not feeling overwhelmed with, events and all that stuff. So, and also people are really bad at builds. A lot of new players, like some of us, we love our perks. We read our cards. We know what we're doing. We do the best we can. But even then, we made some questionable decisions when we were first playing. But new players often have really bad builds to level 40, 50, 60. And they're like, why am I not doing any damage? Why is nothing working? Why is my character so bad? And all they've taken is stuff to, make their chems lighter and their junk lighter. And, so the idea here is to give people a preset build for the style they want to try to play. Not just equipment, but help them to get perks to actually make it a rewarding and decent experience.
The building the character was the decent experience, though.
Well, yeah, and you can build from there, and it's still the same system once you're out. You know what I mean? If you want to start changing things.
Yeah.
Although I did see something new when I was looking at the new screens. There seemed to be some little lock symbols on some perk cards. Did you notice that, Ray, when you looked? Did you see lock symbols on them?
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if it's locking your base build in with those lock cards until you hit a certain level to help make sure that you have good cards mounted.
I would have said
They do
the opposite.
some of them normally anyway, don't they?
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe I just never used that feature. One other thing, too, there is a new donations box outside the vault. So when you leave the vault, there's a big old crate directly to the left over by the stairs down. And you know how a lot of people love to greet new players, drop stuff for them, shoot at it, do a little dance and scare everybody when the new player's like, what the hell is going on here? And then they run and, it doesn't work when you try to give them stuff. So now they actually have a big donation box. It's like the Salvation Army box or something. And you drop stuff in and it has a sign on it, your donation box. And there's even a note, if you look, basically kind of talking about paying it forward. And, welcome from the vault, your fellow vault dwellers want to help pay this forward, blah, blah, blah. So, just a nice little thing.
All the floater grenades.
I didn't see that. Normally, I immediately go to the right, but this time I went down the stairs because, I was trying to follow the direction to see if there was anything changed, and never saw the box.
Yeah, it should be right on the left. To be fair, I have only seen pictures since I haven't been able to install the PTS myself. Just I was working. But yeah, seeing pictures, it looked like it was out on the left on the stairs down, but maybe it's on the right on the stairs down. Hopefully it's somewhere where people can't miss it when they exit the vault, because that's the entire point. It shouldn't be missed.
And I don't know how much stuff there'll be because everybody has to start a new character. Nobody's really got a lot of stuff. So
once it goes live, though.
Yeah, once it goes live, it'll be functional. So I'm tootling through Flatwoods. I've gotten myself through the initial responders quests. And I'm walking along and I look at my map and see that there's an event going on. So, I'll have to go check that out. So it was the one that you do with all the animals up at the mid-mountain cabins.
Right.
So I went up and did that, and that went pretty well. Got a lot of shots off. There were a lot of people there, and it went pretty well. And got a nice little 3-star legendary weapon. It wasn't a rifle. It was a one of the jawbone knives. That was a lot of fun. Didn't do too bad. Didn't get killed.
Even with the Blue Devil there and people being kind of low level, you guys all survived.
Yeah. And so, continued on playing. Now I'm up near the White Spring. So I, put down a camp on the rocks overlooking the White Spring, tootled down the hill, was down there, killed the Deathclaw, looking around, didn't see anything different there. Still the responders everywhere, robots in the back. And I looked and another event had started. And this was the one that's down in the Cranberry Bog. And so I zipped down there and, me and all my, level 25 and below friends are just getting our asses handed to us, just getting crushed. I died twice to that stupid turtle, getting just too close. And it was, all of a sudden you see all the frowny faces because we failed the event. And, the turtle ran off towards Watoga and, we all licked our wounds.
Does that event have a minimum level?
I think
like
it recommends level 50.
Yeah, I mean, just for being in the area. Yeah. Anything down there is going to be. It's funny because Middle Mountain Cabins, that event can be really tough too. That last wave with all the honeybees and rad scorpions and the Blue Devil, but Savage Divide isn't quite as bad. And maybe there's a level range situation. And maybe with the level range of Savage Divide being a lot lower, that even when you're kind of scaling to things over in the Cranberry Bog, it's just that they can't go low enough that you guys are as effective.
Yeah, I think we might have taken maybe 4 or 5% off the health bar of the turtle.
Oh no.
I mean, it was, I'm sitting there shooting away and I'm doing like 1 damage, 1 damage, 1 damage, 1 damage.
Sounds like Earl all over again.
So that was pretty fun.
Yeah, sounds like a blast.
Sometimes it's fun to die in 76.
Over and over.
So that was kind of my experience this afternoon with the PTS. Hadn't found anything else, really big, as far as changes go. The robots, I don't know. So, again, it's always kind of like, well, I don't know, is this new or is this old? And it's just new to me. But so all the robots have different lines and different voices now.
What?
They say stuff in these really weird gravelly voices and, sound like, they've become possessed or something.
Okay. Where did you run into robots like that?
So some of them at the White Springs. Where else was I?
They weren't just all protect and serve.
No, they definitely had, because when I was somewhere.
Search
I was at the lumber mill when I first came down from the vault, and those wood chopper robots. There was like 4 times more than I've ever seen there before.
Oh yeah, there's usually 3 max
everywhere. I mean, there was probably a good 10 or 11 of them around the area. There were 4 of them just inside the lumber mill building.
That's got to be a bug. I mean, I would think. I don't know. Wow. Okay.
And so, but they, I was in the room the building that has all the logs stacked up. And all of a sudden I hear this rah, 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 or something, somebody's saying something. I'm like, what the hell was that? So I went over into the next building where all the robots were, and yeah, they were, talking in these really weird voices. So I don't know if that was just a glitch or what, but when they also were doing it at the White Springs, I was like, okay, well, maybe this is what robots do all the time now, and I just don't know.
Talking amongst themselves, were they?
Yeah.
That is definitely new.
So, but yep, and no score.
Attaboy.
No score. Congratulations.
Score-tirement.
Your record's unblemished.
Yeah, keeping it straight. So yeah, played some No Man's Sky, working on a spreadsheet of ship values. Playing with the Daedra worship in Skyrim. So I've just about maxed out Sithis. So I should have that done in a few more untimely deaths.
Hail Sithis.
But then playing Fallout 4. So, last time I got Curie back to Kingsport Lighthouse, made her the mayor.
Mayor, right.
And so she's been busy working on building up Kingsport Lighthouse, looking really good. And it's nice now because when I sleep in the bed at Kingsport, I get the
Lover's Embrace.
So I don't go back a lot. I had to go back because of the railroad, some Radiant Quest stuff that I did that I needed to turn in, but just adjusting to life without Curie. And it's been pretty glorious.
Well, yeah,
she's sweet and all, but
yeah, you said she's always in your way. Followers in general, right?
So that also gave me a chance to run around Far Harbor and do some of the things that she doesn't like.
Oh, very nice. I mean, hey, you got to be a naughty boy. That sounds like fun.
What does she dislike, Ray?
She doesn't like it when you're not nice to people. She doesn't like it when you take advantage of your incredibly high charisma and get more money out of people for stuff.
Yeah.
Eat people.
She's too nice.
Yeah, this character is not a cannibal, so.
Oh, okay.
Does Curie in synth form, does she have any, what is her perk when you max out affinity with Curie?
Make sure it's field medic or something like that. It makes your stim packs more effective.
I didn't even think about it until earlier this week, but I was reading stuff and I was curious if it had anything to do with rad resistance or whatever, considering the source material of the character and all that. But
she talks about improving the stim packs all the time.
Okay.
So
that's probably why you end up with better stim packs.
Yeah.
So you don't die of radiation exposure.
So now Lorenzo takes care of that for me. Just pop a mysterious serum.
And you just randomly come across him wandering around the wasteland. Will he pop up in Far Harbor too?
Never have seen him in Far Harbor.
You imagine him over in a Nuka World. Going on a roller coaster.
Yeah, sitting on one of the kiddie rides.
That would be fantastic. I think somebody needs to see if they can do that. Like if they can spot him over there or something. Lorenzo at the fair. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Or I
Yeah,
just blanked
you
on
can
his
definitely
name.
spawn him.
The dog dealer roaming around. What's his name? I can't remember his
Gene.
name.
Eugene or Gene.
Gene, right? Gene.
Gene. Yeah.
It'd be like a Gene versus Erickson battle of the dog dealers. All right.
Okay, quick tangent before we go on to the next person. You say Gene, that makes me think of Gene skydiving, which makes me think of Fallout New Vegas, which makes me think about the really kick-ass new shelter we got in 76. So I got to see that new shelter that you can buy for 2,000 atoms. Now, you know that I refuse to buy the atrium at 1,800 atoms on principle, but this one is worth 2,000 atoms, you guys. Oh my gosh, it's an outdoor area you can build too. You get a little vertibot in your camp. You click on it. Okay, it hovers there, it like floats. It's actually a moving vertibot.
Oh.
You click on it, you fly to this location, and it's like just a dead lot. And it feels like Fallout 3 in that the sky is all like dark and gritty, and the ground is like just beautiful flat wasteland, but it's kind of amber colored like New Vegas. So it's got like the best of both worlds, and it is the outdoor shelter I've always wanted. It's fantastic.
I think outdoor shelter is sort of an oxymoron, isn't it?
It is, but it's what I wanted. Pretty much from the beginning, after that we got our first vault shelters, I said, you know what shelter I really want? It's either a nice field or meadow or like an island. Like give me a boat I can click on and go to an island, or give me like a wagon, like the You're Finally Awake wagon.
You don't want a boat. You remember all the trouble you had with a boat? Come on, Jess.
Oh
That's
gosh,
just
no, I
amazing.
don't want a boat. When you put it that way, I'd never get back there. But yeah, it is. I mean, obviously shelters aren't just shelters, and I'm glad it's not a hole in the ground to an outdoor space. A hole in the ground to get to the pit was bad enough, but now a hole in the ground to get to an outdoor area would have been ridiculous. But yeah, that is awesome. Oh,
Greetings, I am the Osimo 4000.
and I did see camps last night too. That's how I saw this. We were experimenting. Andrew, you might like this. If you find yourself one of those shelters, because I know you're not going to buy that shelter probably anymore. Like I realize that a lot of our crew are no longer, building and buying every new thing that comes out, unlike me. But fireworks or grenades and explosives work differently in there. There's something going on with the shelter and the atmosphere that when you toss a grenade or like fire off like a nuke and stuff like that, it creates like major explosive effect that kind of just like hovers and stays in the air with the lighting. It's really cool.
That's really weird.
Yeah, we just kind of discovered it randomly last night, and we're just tossing grenades for like 5-10 minutes. Like this is the best. Very trippy. I mean, kind of perfect for 420, baby. But
I did discover a neat glitch in 4 a couple weeks ago when I was using lots of grenades at was it either in mass fusion or hallucinogen or something like that. But I would throw a grenade in battle and then die and have to reload. But when I went back to that same location, the explosion was still there. Like the red cloud was still.
that's exactly what I'm talking about.
like,
Yeah, where did that
whoa.
happen for you?
In Fallout 4 in hallucinogen and the hallways and stuff like that. It wouldn't happen in larger areas, but in tight areas for some reason it had trouble clearing the graphic that after what it looks like just when it explodes and you can't really see through it. So it's almost like a little wall that you can just walk through. And it was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was doing like that, but at different vertices. And at one point, there was an explosion that looked almost like the Sundew Grove. We actually had sparks and sparkles all around you.
Pretty
Yeah,
and
it
pink.
only lasts like 5-6 seconds, but it's neat.
Very cool.
So, speaking of Atom Shop items,
Oh, yeah,
Uh-oh.
shopping spree.
What'd you find?
well, nothing because you can't get into the Atom Shop in PTS. But so, what's all the hoo-ha about the spice rack?
There's a hoo-ha about the spice rack.
Is that
I
the
haven't heard
apothecary?
Oh, the
Yeah.
apothecary thing that gives you stuff. Yeah, I haven't actually used it yet. I haven't played with it.
What do you know about it, Ray?
I just know that a bunch of people were complaining that it was pay to win.
Oh, still, the complaint about that with everything. But no, honestly, I don't know. I haven't used it yet.
What does it pump out chems for you
I
or
think
something?
I think it gives you an item, but let's see. It's called
Uh,
the Budding Apothecary, and I think you get like food and drink stuff from it, like herbs and food and drink stuff.
Yeah, I saw
Yeah, a lot of
Archie
ingredients.
mentioned it was flowers. So whatever kind of whether they're flowers that do you good or not, I don't know.
If it gives you stuff to make cranberry relish, then that's the kind of pay to win that Andrew can get behind.
Yeah, love the relish. I also noticed a bunch of new named weapons and such we're getting from events, and I haven't really looked in. Are there only like a few? But I noticed there's like 3 or 4 in my inventory. I'm like, what is this thing? It's like it must be from the new events that I haven't really experienced very much.
Yeah, we're getting new ones from all the new events. And in fact, they now have alternates. So, like before you would get on the Nuka World events, you get like the same weapon from the same event every time.
Yeah.
And now there are a couple possible drops from them. So, and they're also a little bit less common. You don't get them every time. So they're actually a drop. Makes it work rather well. But some people like it. Like you mentioned the jawbone knife there. Some people are really down with that.
It's cool looking.
Job.
Whereas this one's not going to do me much good with the rifle build.
No.
Cool.
So that was it for me.
Yeah, I was gonna say any other gameplay stuff there, Ray, but all right, sounds good. How about you, Clint? What you been doing in game?
Or playing a bit. The 76, Charlie and I just get on and do the dailies. I think this morning it took me all of 5 minutes to get them done. There was 2 of them you had to make, because we do them in a custom world.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you had to make a couple of bulk items and cash them in. So you get a couple of them done that way. It's all fairly quick.
Well, and then some of them are like cripple a Mirelurk's claws, then kill 5 Mirelurks, then kill 12 creatures, and you're like, well, that's not even a double dip. That's a triple dip. Because you're
And we always re-roll the daily op these days because it's got a bit repetitive.
Right.
So you never know what you're going to get. It's always something different. So sometimes you re-roll a daily op and it says do a daily op in costume. Damn, re-roll again.
Yeah.
If you re-roll the daily op, will it always just bring up do a daily op thing, or will it actually clear a daily op and give you a different challenge?
No.
Mostly it's quite random. Yeah.
Oh, nice. I still have never re-rolled a
You've
daily
still
challenge.
never re-rolled. I mean,
No,
I feel as
never.
luck will have it, often the first re-roll isn't the best, it's similar, but then it gets better on subsequent. But I think they've gotten better.
And sometimes you'll get an epic, which will give you more points too. So
Mm-hmm.
An
that'll
epic?
happen.
What?
Yeah, it's always worth that.
Maybe I need to actually re-roll and use these score boosters and...
Charlene gets more epics than I do and gets ahead of me in score all
Well,
the
she
time.
deserves them.
I re-rolled a daily op last week, Clint, and I got cripple 30 Mirelurk limbs. Like, how random is that?
Yeah, I think I got that a couple of days ago too, and I was, that sounds a bit difficult, and I re-rolled it again. But Charlene did it yesterday, and crippling my limbs isn't all that difficult apparently. So because all of the limbs are together in a bulk.
It turns out they have 2. Turns out they have like 2, so like you can do 2 per. Yeah, I was excited about that.
Oh, they've got about 6, haven't they? Or 8?
Oh, I don't know if legs count. I was just doing the arms. Jeez, I was not maximizing my rewards, Clint.
A limb is a limb. Yeah.
True.
So that's all we're doing in 76 at the moment is just the dailies. Pretty, just gets it done every day. And like I say, I'm at rank 47. Charlene's at 48. We're using the boosters where we can and just sort of, we'll get through it. With Fallout 4, I haven't done a great deal with the Roundtable character because I've slowed her down to, I streaked ahead there a couple of weeks back, but
right.
And failed miserably. So not wanting to go back and tell the Nakanos that she's dead. So So I just keeping up with I haven't started the Best Left Forgotten yet with that character, but I also play two other characters at the same time. So I've just been playing them, and both in survival. It seems to be my go-to now is survival all the way. I'm quite enjoying the fact that you do have to eat stuff and you do have to sleep. But it's with mods, so I use some mods.
It's cushy survival. It's like going camping and staying at an RV resort.
Mm.
I mean, maybe not
right.
quite, but
Something like that. Yeah.
We call that.
Always have a decent weapon. One that I've got it one shots death claws. So anybody else isn't a problem. And I gave that same weapon to the doc who's always with me nowadays, and to whoever other followers I've got, and so they're crack shots as well, and they miss less often than I do. Like, if they take a shot at someone, they always hit them.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah, Doc's pretty good. He says he keeps on saying I'm a doctor, not a commando, but he doesn't miss these shots, so he does all right.
Damn it, Jim.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I have noticed my console is working on the PC with survival mode, and I finally worked out why today. There's a mod called Better Console,
mm-hmm.
and ostensibly what it does, it gives you more information. So when you're in console, you click on a character, it'll give you all of the details about that character. If you press the control key or what have you. And I guess whoever made that mod didn't think that you don't have console in survival. So it's available. So if anybody wants console in survival, look up that Better Console mod on the Nexus. It's there. And I use that for a bit of fast travel because I've made batch files that'll take me from one cell to another.
That's advanced consoling. If you can actually you activate a batch file through the PC console.
Oh, I do that a lot. Yeah, I do that a lot.
Nice.
I've got a batch file of 4 or 5 different commands that gets me through DiMA's Nightmare. So
cheater.
I did that a couple of years ago. And yeah.
You need to share that with me on Xbox somehow.
Yeah, I don't know. Don't know if you can do that.
I highly doubt it.
There's probably some way of doing it. I mean, they make Xbox mods somehow.
Yeah, just be.
Yeah, you'd have to use a mod because you wouldn't have any way to access a text file. You couldn't load a text file into his directory.
Yeah, but if a mod maker could make that text file into a mod of somehow.
Oh, I'm sure that's
the
possible.
effect of what it does, play this holotape and it'll play the...
It probably already exists.
Well,
DiMA's so
there
unpopular.
are mods that'll get you through, like the one I use.
People who make mods for Xboxes, that's not all done on the Xbox, is it?
No, it's same mods. Creation Kit is still on PC. You just have to port it over. Yep.
Yeah, so you'd make it on PC and transport it over as a mod. Transport it over. Someone who knows what they're doing could maybe do that. I don't.
Very frequently in the Xbox description for mods, you'll see, I do not own an Xbox. I do not know if this works. Use at your own risk.
Yep.
Oh, there you go. So someone might do that. You never know.
I'm sure there's a mod to skip all this DiMA garbage.
Yeah. And the other thing I thought with Jess, you had that trouble with the boat sinking.
Yes.
I went out with the Mariner to do Red Death, and my boat sunk.
Your boat sank on the way to the... It was the Red Death. That evil, vicious creature.
Huge monster eating your boat, Jess.
Yeah. The tentacles came out and the...
Well, what it was, went to do Red Death, jumped on the boat, and Mariner goes on her boat, and the screen goes dark, comes back on, and my character is swimming in the ocean. Not far from the island, but he could swim there. But no boat. So went through with it all, and went through that huge fight to kill off the monster, and to get back, no boat. There was a marker out in the water.
I was going to ask, when you're done with the battle, how do you return back to the main cell? That's interesting. You could probably console command it, but Lord.
I did, yeah. That's the only way I could get back, because I swam out to where the marker was, but there was no boat to get on and nothing happened. So I had to console my way back to Far Harbor, yeah.
Did it let you have the quest complete, though? Like, did it still complete?
Yep.
Okay,
yeah,
good.
when I got back there, it was all done. Yeah, so weird. But yeah, boats do sink.
Very dangerous. Very dangerous. I recommend the mainland.
That's about all been doing. Just having a good time on Fallout 4 with other characters in the meantime. But I'm keeping my Roundtable character up with the quests.
Are you running around on the mainland with those, or are you off in Far Harbor as well with your other characters?
No, doing Far Harbor at the moment. Yeah, with the others. Yeah, and I'll probably head over to Nuka World when that starts up.
You experiencing all the different quest paths? You got one with children, and one with the Far Harbor, and one with Acadia, and all that.
Well, no, I got because I'm sort of using them to find my way through, because it's a long time since I've done Far Harbor, and so run through with the character at first, and it doesn't matter what goes wrong.
Yeah.
Because there are consequences for what you do in Far Harbor.
I know you just said you don't. It's been a while since you've been in Far Harbor. Do you see one of these factions as more admirable than the other two? Is there a normal Clint path through the island?
With the Harbor people. Because I'm not fussed with DiMA. I don't like him, and of course
fuck them.
Children of Adam, well, you just shoot them as soon as you see them.
All their weird face tattoos and the weird praying to a submarine and whatnot. Yeah,
a bit annoyed that I have to go in and to get DiMA's stuff and be nice. But I found out even you can just go in shooting and take them all out.
I wouldn't see why not. They're just stuck in a computer terminal up there in the top of the bunker, so you could just wipe everything out, right?
Well, we went in like the three, with Doc and Curie. No, it wasn't Curie. It was another companion that I've got. That they're both good shooters. So I went in and I just sort of hid in that little alcove that you first arrive inside the nucleus, and sent them in, and they took out most of the children of Adam, and I just sort of popped around the corner and pinged here and there, and tried to stay out of trouble, and they did most of the work.
I can imagine taking all of them out, and then from the far corner you see Sister Aubert be like, "Finally, awesome, thanks, dude!" Like, help me out of here.
No, I just went straight up. Oh, and I did find out too, when you do blow up the nucleus, if you get that far, don't miss and land on the floor underneath the submarine, because it takes more than 30 seconds to get back out.
Oh no! Yeah.
I was within a few feet of the door, but yeah. And got killed.
Wah, wah. All right, Clint, thanks for sharing there. I'll get into a little bit of my gameplay. The vast majority of my Fallout 4 was streamed last Saturday night, doing the Best Left Forgotten quest. And I will emphasize that this quest is appropriately named. You should forget it if possible. Use a mod to skip it all. This is not... I like puzzle games, but this is inappropriate for Fallout. I've gone into this rant numerous times in the past but this is just out of place and Fallout. This, I like puzzle games a lot, but they have a time and a place, and the middle of this island is not the time or place for this style of game.
Doesn't feel
Totally
right.
agree.
Even the first couple levels doesn't feel right to you.
It's first of all, anyone who files technology like this doesn't know. Like I don't know. I'm not a computer guy. I don't know how to file technologies, but I know that it would not be this.
Yeah, it's just a password. That's all. If you're going to do something, if you're going to hide something, you just put a strong password.
You don't put little pixies who need to go touch something and then come back like that. That is not an IT person's defense mechanism.
They're like little mealy bugs.
This is not how that works.
Tron. It's like, Master Control, like in the weird orange beam and stuff. I mean,
it's just a strange curveball out of right field, I feel. And just, like, I don't need to keep reiterating, but it just feels extremely out of place to me. And it's very interesting that they put this in. And I would love to hear, I should go looking for like a podcast or something where they talk about the level design and the decision-making process about why this was included and who designed this and what the whole deal was, because it really is just like some guy showed up after a weekend of tripping hard and was just like, guys, I've got an idea. I have the best idea that we need to put in this game. See, I was playing lots of, 1980s Atari puzzle games, and then what we got to do, we got to throw this in. It's just like, oh, man. But anyway, we'll get into Best Left Forgotten here in a couple seconds. But I just wanted to cover a few of my other things. Like I mentioned to Clint earlier, the triple dip of the Mirelurks and the F-76 dailies was kind of nice, though I did, like Jess mentioned, the cripple 30 Mirelurk limbs. I was kind of miffed by that, but then it was actually a lot faster than I thought it'd be. I picked up a shotgun, put on the Enforcer card, which increases your chance to cripple limbs. And
you use a weaker gun so you don't kill them with the first limb.
Right. And then I, just would use my, what's the VATS one that lets you target specific limb, do that. And then just use
Okay, here's a question.
Yeah.
Did the legs work for you? So Clint was saying that, because I just did the arms. I did 2 arms per Mirelurk.
Yeah.
Were you able to cripple the legs too? Did that count?
I didn't even try. I was just concentrating on the arms since it said arms.
Oh, you thought like me. Okay.
Did it?
One of them was arms. Was that
Interesting.
robot arms we had to do?
We did robot arms as well, right?
Mm.
Did it just say Mirelurk limbs? For some reason, I thought it said arms.
Pretty sure it said limbs.
Ah, well, then the legs would have worked, of course.
And
Right.
and it might be 2 different challenges too, because maybe it was arms that was on the regular daily. They were on. In chat, real quick, Matt Man says, "I'm with Andrew. That quest breaks my immersion every time. I just look at a wiki and get it over with as fast as I can."
Yep.
Yeah, I might load mods in the future that just do it for you or skip it.
Well, and I know that's the official quest that we're going to talk about in a little bit anyway, so we can get into a little bit more there.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I know it's not a lot of people's faves.
Yeah, I'm about scoreboard 45 now on Fallout 76. My other Fallout 4 gameplay was I just went up to Dalton Farm, Dalton, whatever, and up there on the north edge of the shore, and I was just wandering around the shore down the the west side of the island, and out on those little tiny islands. There's a bunch of little tiny islands to swim to, and they usually reward you with some, a suitcase to find a few items of junk or something. So I was really just looking for side quests, because I felt like, we've got the main quest really well underway at this point. I'm just going to try to open up as many locations as I can find and open up as many side quests as I can find. I found that the last week I was really confused. You were talking about like the Oceanarium or something like that. And I was like, well, there's a robot, but that was a different location. That might be on the mainland by the lighthouse or something. I don't even remember what I was confusing it with. But I finally found that location, like, oh, this is what they were talking about. And I just found a few locations out and about that were They had Mirelurks in them, had some trappers, had some raiders and stuff. But then I began to realize the fog has prevented people from settling the island for the most part.
Yeah.
So we're not going to find lots of people out there looking for help with side quests and stuff. Those people have all bailed out to Far Harbor because the fog has prevented settlements on the island for the most part. So my search for side quests, I was all over the northeast side, or the northwest side, the west side, and down to the southwest side. I didn't find one damn side quest to do. So I was just like, oh, because all the people have been forced to the Far Harbor Island settlement for the most part. That makes total sense to me. But I was just like miffed. I was like, where's all the goddamn side quests? Oh, okay, all the people are gone. That's why there's no side quests. So I was like, oh, that's weird.
Settlements the settlements exist, and that's because 20, 30 years ago, like Captain Longnut says, the fog wasn't as bad, and it tends to go in cycles. And people forget, and they blame the children, and they blame this and that, but the fog goes in cycles, and so the lumberyard was more clear, and things were more clear in the past.
And they have the specific settlements you can go clear out and set up the fog condensers and whatnot. But I was just like, where is everything? But then it dawned on me, oh, that's why there's no side quests, because everyone had to bail from their settlements because of the fog. Oh, jeez. And it was just like a little light went on my head. I was like, oh, that's why I couldn't find any side quest up and down the coast. And the last thing I wanted to mention here is it is the I wanted to ask you, Jess, is 420 Baby a reference to something?
And no, I just put 420 Baby.
Okay, 420
It was kind of Austin
Baby.
Powers in my head. Yeah.
Okay, there you go. But I was looking up any marijuana references, references in Fallout, and it is a substance in the first two Fallout games, evidently, but I didn't remember running into it in Fallout 1 when we were running around. Evidently, one of the NPC vendors will ask you if you got any weed on you at one point. And I think Fallout 2 I saw. And then I also saw that originally the chem-resistant perk that we all know now that keeps you from getting addicted to drugs was originally called the Flower Child perk in the first two games. But and by Fallout 3, they changed the name to chem-resistant and changed the art. But the art was just sort of like a little, our familiar vault boy with sort of like a hippie outfit on and holding a bong.
Interesting. Did they feel like they were encouraging it too much, maybe? And they're still like, we'll make it chem resistant a little bit more neutral?
I don't know.
Might have made chems that we don't get in the real world, sort of thing.
Yeah, I guess.
Psycho and buff out and all that, you don't get.
But I mean, if you analyze the effects of them, you can probably draw a line between what the actual real world drugs are to what these made up chems are in game, So I don't know, maybe there was some reasoning behind that. That'd be an interesting topic to learn about. Search for that, the reasoning why they switched it over to, chem resistant instead of Flower Child, and took out reference to actual marijuana, cannabis in the game.
Looking over the overall quest list, as far as like general quests that you find in the world, yeah, it seems like there are only two. Like there are side quests, but they're all either from Acadia, from the Nucleus, or from the Harborman, stuff from the Mariner and all the various characters. But you can get Brain Dead, which is the Vault 118 quest with Pearl, and doing that stuff down in the vault with the murder mystery.
I did that. That was fun. I didn't even mention that. Yeah, that's what I started off doing. I finished that up. And I should have taken Longnuts with me because he loves it when you say anything rude to especially robots. So if you give all the sassy answers to Pearl or any of the robots downstairs, that he likes or loves any of those interactions. So I should have taken him with me to hurry up this the affinity
situation. Yeah. The other one is Shipbreaker. Have you got that yet? Have you started it?
Wait, Shipbreaker, is that the
big ass fog crawler, like the the one you kind of got to chase down?
With Longfellow.
Is that with Longfellow? Yeah, I haven't done that one yet.
Okay.
But yeah, I haven't even Googled, Far Harbor side quests. I was just literally out looking for them. You know what I mean? Sort of exploring, seeing if I could unlock any. And I did find a few more locations that I hadn't unlocked yet. And I'm not sure if they're unmarked or not, but they found batches of buildings and stuff that I hadn't seen yet. But
Yeah. Isn't there a family that you can rescue over in the Cranberry area?
I haven't gotten all the way to
down there.
the far side of the south part of the island yet. So very, very well could be. Very well could be. And I would
that would make sense.
Yeah, I would expect them to be along the coast anyway. Yeah.
I wonder if you get information about them from somebody, at one of the settlements or whatever, or if you just come across them. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember what takes you there. Something does.
I've swum past there many times. It's just
right.
Waved as I go by. Yeah.
I got a side quest from the sawmill one when I first got there. Because what's the name? The little kid sends you out there to
Small Bertha, right? Bertha?
Small Bertha, yeah, not Big Bertha, Small Bertha.
And I was gonna call her Little Bertha for some reason, but it is small.
Yeah, but so I did that, and then when I went back out there, and the new people were there as I arrived, sort of thing. First thing they said to me was, "We've got to get rid of some mireworks in another place way down the road." So and it said, "Follow me." So I had to follow them all the way down to wherever it was and kill off the mireworks for them.
Interesting.
Never come across that one before. Yeah,
that
was before I got a chance to even do any building there.
The one thing they mentioned to me when I talked to them was, watch out, there's hermit crabs in the area. And like in the next parking lot over, I was just running around and all of a sudden, bam, I got smacked in the back of the head by there's
that might be it, because I'd already killed that hermit crab.
Yeah,
they took me off down to
a different location. There you go.
Yeah, that was what it was, yeah.
Maybe so.
If you want to go on a long run, kill that one off across the road.
Kill the hermit crab first, and then they'll send you off for mirelurks. I find the mirelurk kings much harder in 4 than they are in 76, too. I don't know if that's just because of perks I have loaded or whatnot, but they're fucking gnarly in 4.
They can be pretty gnarly in 76 until you're ready for them.
Yeah.
I just might have a level 700 character in 76. Well, I'm about there in Fallout 4, Jess, so...
I mean, the equivalent, right? Oh my gosh. What are you, like 85 now or something?
About 85, somewhere in that ballpark.
Oh my goodness gracious. Yeah, I watched a lot of your play on Saturday night. It was fun watching you run around the island and do all the stuff. Pretty much everything right up to, the big part of Best Left Forgotten.
Yeah. Well, speaking of which, let's go ahead and hop into that then. Did you get a chance to play the quest, Jess?
I did not fully. No, your girl. That's why I was making excuses like, I had to record voice lines and I had to do 76 catch up on the scoreboard. Yeah, so no, I barely played Fallout 4 on Far Harbor. So I, besides watching you and some other people doing them, I haven't done the memory thing myself, which is maybe why I still like it, because I want to go on record right now, as I said in chat. And I know our friend Pip-Boy Steve agrees, maybe even more than me, but I think DiMA's memory quests are kind of cool. I
feel like they are a mobile game that you should play waiting at the bus stop. I don't feel like they are part of Fallout 4 for some reason. You know what I mean? They're fun. Yeah. They're great little puzzle games. They're fun little logic puzzles. Redirect the laser here. But yeah, it seems more appropriate. Like you mentioned Tron earlier. It seems more appropriate in Tron.
It isn't congruous. It's kind of like you're suddenly playing Portal, or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, it's a bit like what are the games that you can play on the terminals? The Donkey Kong.
Oh yeah. The Red Menace and Pitfall.
So,
right.
You can go and play them if you want, but you don't have to. Whereas this one, you don't progress in this quest unless you do it.
You don't need to do that 5th one, though. I mean, you don't need to get 100% completion, because that is the one that I think is just a lot.
Yeah.
Well, that one you can cheat through, as I said, and then Ray was like, "That's not cheating." And I'm just curious of. We'll get to that here in a second, but Ray, I want you to define what cheating means and why that is not cheating. All right. So, Clint, you've seen like you've gone through Best Left Forgotten a few times already. Did you want to sort of explain your experiences through Best Left Forgotten?
Well, there's a couple of ways you can do it, of course. Like I mentioned before, you just go into you get it from DiMA, of course, that you've got to go into the command center. So you can go in there just guns blazing.
Mm-hmm.
And, if you're good enough and you've got a good crew with you, I've managed that in survival mode. But, with 2 followers who were crack shots.
Crack shots, yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, if you don't, if you've been given the faction of the Children of Adam, you've got to join them or pretend to join them, one of the two. And some of that's good fun because you get that, go and have a sip from a waterfall and then
they make you do all that?
Yeah, that's the only way you get inside there.
You have to go see the Fog Mother or Mother of the Fog and do that. See, I was wondering about it because I've already done all that before. I'm a member of the Children of the Atom and everything, but just in order to get through the door, you can't just kill them and walk in. You have to go do all the take a sip from the waterfall and go to the 2 shrines.
One or the other. I mean, once you've done all that, then you can just walk in. It's not a problem.
But can you just shoot the guys at the door and walk in? Like, will that work?
Yeah.
Oh, you can. Okay.
Yeah, that one. Okay. Yeah. Like I say, but it's hard work if in survival mode.
Oh, I'm sure. Right.
Yeah. And, don't expect to just walk in shooting and have no problems.
It's loaded full bear. Lots of people in there too. Right?
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
Yep. So once you get past them, either way, you go up into the command center of not the command center of the submarine, but the command center of the facility,
the bunker.
Yeah, the sub base.
Yeah,
yeah, and that's just the usual, following down tunnels and coming across turrets and protectrons and what have you.
Yeah, they give you a warning before you go, and there's there's some defense mechanisms that we still haven't gotten through. Good luck with those. Meet some turrets.
There are
an assaultron or 2, I think.
Yep, there are beds in there, so you can have a sleep. If you get about halfway through, there's a room full of beds on the left-hand side there, so you can reset yourself there and not have to go right out the front again.
Yuck.
And you come to the actual command center, and there's a computer, and that's where you find, of course, it doesn't start up straight away. If you try and use it, you've got to switch it on around the back, and of course, as soon as you do, you get someone come out and take you on. That was a tough one, that one too, because it sort of takes you by surprise.
Yeah, I had totally forgotten about that. If anyone watched the stream, it zapped me down like in 2 seconds when the first time I went. I was like, oh shit, I have to sort of plan here. I happen to have a bottle cap mine with me, so I loaded it up right by the door that it was at. But as soon as I flipped on the power, the door popped open, destroyed the bottle cap mine, and then the thing walked out and killed me again anyway. I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I vaguely remember all this.
Mm.
Yeah. And you're not out of the woods once you kill it, because you're in a very tight space.
Mm.
And she explodes.
Oh,
okay.
Right.
Yes, she does. Yeah,
Nuclear fire.
Yeah. So basically you do kill her, and then you jump back in the cage and wait for it to explode. You get by it that way.
Yeah.
Or run outside. Yeah.
Yeah. I killed her, right by the button, where you put the power back on. Ran and was almost to the door where you go into that area, and she blew up, and half my health bar was rads.
Jesus. Oh yeah, the nuclear fire, right? Oh Lord.
Which is why you have the doctor with you when you go.
There you go.
That's smart. Yes.
Never go anywhere without him in survival mode anyway. Yeah. So then, of course, you have power to the computer, and it starts into DiMA's memory. And
To load Faraday's program and actually get in there.
somebody else wants to do that because I haven't done it for so long. Because I just skipped.
Oh, really? You mean this quest that we're supposed to be doing for today, which I didn't do, but so I can't cast too much shade. But you didn't do it, so did you manage to skip it with the mod?
Always skip it with the mod. Yeah.
Ray, do you ever play it?
Yeah.
Do you skip it as well, or when's the last time you actually went through the whole process?
Oh, so this was the first time I've ever used a skip mod.
Okay.
But I also never do it.
Fair. Okay.
Because I don't, I don't ever play where I need those rewards.
Okay, so there's a way through Far Harbor without actually having to do any of this memory retrieval stuff. If you
just don't do the quests.
So you don't finish
you
Far
run around
Harbor?
Far Harbor, you have a little fun, kill a few things,
but you don't
and then leave.
You don't complete there's no storyline in Far Harbor where you can get to the end without doing these quests, right? You can't.
No, you have to at least get enough to get the nuclear codes.
Even if you are against Acadia and you just want to kill DiMA, there is no way to kill DiMA. He's marked essential until he spoiler alert, sacrifices himself later to the Far Harbor people, right? Can you kill DiMA? You can't kill DiMA yourself ever, right?
I've never tried it. I've always get the harbor men kill him.
Yeah.
Yeah, or the Institute to take him back.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that's fun. That's really fun. Oh, maybe I'll go run.
Or in your
Institute
case, the
quest
Brotherhood,
real quick.
Andrew, which you're going to be seeing shortly. You're going to be seeing next week for sure.
I need to go report back to Lancer Kells and see if he stops saying, "Okay, keep us updated," and finally says, "All right, let's do something about it." Finally.
Yeah, if you finished Best Left Forgotten and starting the next one, it's probably about time.
I need to go check with him again. Good call, Jess. I will do that this week and see what he says. See if I can get a battalion over to help me out.
Yeah, because even when you take him with the Institute, all of the key characters just take a knee and then get transported back to the Institute. So Faraday, Chase,
they leave all those people there. They don't take them back too.
No, they take them.
They do take them. Okay.
Yeah, all the other ones, the ones downstairs, they all get killed.
Mm-hmm.
But the main characters, they get transported back.
Neat. I still need to do. What's her name? It's not Victoria, is it? Who you said downstairs? There's someone who's hard to communicate with, but she has that
Jules.
other box, Jules.
Mm-hmm.
There's the other box that Faraday was like hush hush about or something.
Yeah,
I need to do that. That's a side quest I can do.
Yeah,
and the cranberry.
Yeah, I've
down there.
never helped, or not in my recent memory have I helped Faraday and
so
the other person there.
now that we've determined that Andrew is the only one of us who actually has suffered this time,
Yeah.
and I'm sure I'll be a little bit complaining. next
and there's
week.
video evidence of it.
Well, and I don't want to be embarrassed about it, but it really was relearning everything from stage one.
every time.
It's starting over from scratch. A lot of Ray making snide comments on the side. Look up.
That sounds helpful, not snide. I mean,
The thing had turned blue. You were done.
I just needed to walk out, I guess.
Yeah, stop looking at the tiles and the little bugs and look up.
Just they released the path. So it was a lot of relearning. Oh, you can pick up these blocks that are lighter blue. Oh, you can store them in your inventory.
yeah, that makes it so much better.
Instead of picking one up, running it to the end, going back, picking up another one, running it back to the end. Like, I was doing that thing, and then was like, oh, wait, I can store these, so I pick up, as many as you can, and then build your bridge. I made it only one wide, so the little bugs would just stop and not really go. And Ray's like, make your bridge wider. He's like, okay, make the bridge wider. Then they would run through. So it's just a lot of that. And then learning where to strategically place the little laser turrets that are your protectors so that your little bugs, after they hit the end mark, can safely get all the way back. Because they start at point A, they need to go to point B to gather the data, and then return back to point A. But you don't return back to point A. You go to part B to proceed to the next portion of the quest. But it's really just, building the bridges, pointing. There's always a laser beam that destroys a red firewall. And it's just redirecting that, moving your blocks. Okay, let's see, count up 1, 2, count over 1, 2. All right, need to move this over here. Need to turn that to the right. Okay, now the laser's going. All right, and then the next level is all right, move it 1, 2, 3, 4 up, and then move that one back. Oh shit, that one's not tall enough. Oh shit, that one's too tall. Oh shit, So it's just redirecting this thing. Someone who's really good at logic puzzles, I assume, can bang this out. But for me, it's really just lots of troubleshooting, seeing where it points. Okay, no, that one's up too far. Oh, I need to move that to the left 2 spots. Oh, I need to move it back. And eventually, you see, oh, it's supposed to go down, not up. You need to let it go through. Oh, you need to remove that block because that's blocking the laser. Oh, okay. So it's just really...
and it's, one of the annoying things about this whole part of the quest is, that because of the camera angles that Bethesda uses in first and third person, you can't, you can't just line that stuff up. You can't look, one direction and then move the camera another direction and have the camera track a straight line. And so,
yeah, because you're offset back into the left a little bit.
Yeah.
Right.
And so it's so, it's tedious because of that, because you do have to, okay, nope, that was actually one more over. I shifted off one, when I turned around. Yeah. And so, now I've got to restack everything over one block.
Right. And then I realized you stack everything up, but you don't actually need the 2 underneath it. You can remove those and put those back in your storage, use those in your pocket to build the other bridge. It took me a while to realize, I'm missing 4 blocks. Where the hell are they? Oh, they're in the stack that stack up that laser. But if you move that beam, the directional box for the laser beam, then you do need to go back and get those other blocks again to make your stack if you, like you said, missed it by 1 block because your camera angles are weird. So there's lots of frustration to it, lots of different and new sort of skills you need to utilize in order to be successful here. And they're not other skills that you've used previously in the game, so that's why it seems so jarring and foreign. But I do understand
out of place.
Yeah, I do understand why Steve likes it. I mean, it is a fun little puzzle game. I just feel like it's a little bit out of place, like I've said.
I get the out of place. That part definitely makes sense to me. Working the build menu wasn't bad. I enjoy the logic puzzle aspect, but I mean, those kind of games I've enjoyed ever since, even back on the NES and then on the Nintendo. Adventures of Lola, people have done it, or Chip's Challenge on the PC, for people who used to play that. Or there's so many little games like that where you're changing where laser beams go, and yeah, it's classic, but it's not really a Fallout thing.
And I stopped counting, or it got lost, and I was just like, am I on 3 or 4 now? Am I on 4 or 5? And I was like, wait, I think I might be on the 5th one. And I just remembered in the back of my head, oh, there's one that you can cheat on by setting up your turret right by the red laser beam, and instead of you directing the beam that you usually have to redirect in order to break down the red firewall, on the 5th one, there's only one. You start by the end, and there's a firewall, and then the end beam that you want to get up into. And all you have to do is build a little stack and then put a laser turret right in front of the sensor and wait for the bad guy. What are those little bad guy flying balls called from Star Wars? Give you the truth serum from Darth Vader. I don't know, but there's little orbs that float around that shoot your little bugs.
Yeah, the like weird little defender orbs. Mhm.
Yeah. Those orbs will draw fire from your turret, and if you position it correctly, they will fly behind the red firewall, and your turret will shoot through the target to try to shoot those things, and then boom, your firewall is down. So on the
Yay.
last one, I'm like, okay, wait, I vaguely remember that you can cheat to get this one, and Ray made the point from the chat, it's not cheating. And I just wanted to know your philosophy on that. Just because it can be done, that means it's not cheating. I'm not popping up the console and saying do away with firewall, so that's why it's not cheating. Why is that not cheating?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not using a mod either.
Yeah,
It's an in-game mechanic.
It's a game mechanic.
Mhm.
You know.
So, quick note: Solior did share a video of him doing it that way in the Facebook group, like a week or two ago, as well. And there was some neat advice there. For instance, Kevin Colson in the Facebook group mentioned that Heather Kasdan can do it for them. Like one of the built-in things for the follower Heather Kasdan, who's a follower mod, is that she can do some of the puzzle. Also, let's see. They mentioned something else. Yeah, no, just that. But I thought that was really neat that your follower can do that, and that the lasers can go through and eliminate the grid.
Well, wouldn't using Heather be a cheat? Because she's a mod.
Yeah, I mean, it is a mod beyond that. Yeah.
So then if it's not a cheat, is it a wink then from the programmer
Sure.
to be like, hey, you didn't actually have to spend an hour doing this. All you had to do was point the laser at the target and you could have been done 40 minutes ago, dummy.
Yeah. I mean, so somebody had to program it so that the shot from the laser can shut down that firewall.
They put that on purpose.
It
That was
had to have
purposeful.
had to have been programmed in
Someone had to do it at some point during testing, right?
to be able to make it to do that. Because it's just, it's part of the programming. It doesn't happen without it. And so, I mean, at the harshest thing you could ever get me to claim that to be would be, exploiting a game mechanic.
Yeah, cheesing versus cheating. We're cheesing the game a little bit, sure, but we're not cheating.
No.
Are there other instances in the previous 4 puzzles where you could also apply that tactic?
I don't think so. This one works because that last firewall is where you start.
And the
So
others
you
have to
start
progress to.
at the end. And it's only at those ends where those little red balls fly around, before you get all the firewalls cleared and your bugs moving.
And so on the last one, do you not need the little bugs to go and get information and return to that beam? Once you've opened up that last firewall, you can just step into it? You don't actually need to gather the codes, or what?
No, I think they still do it, but they're right
already
there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I haven't redone it, but I remember that they kind of start right by there. One of the frustrating things, you're like, oh my God, you've got to go all the way around to get back to the beginning.
Yeah.
Which is...
Well, and I started that because I remember, this can take a while for the laser turret to finally turn and shoot the right direction, because it just shoots at those orbs whenever they enter the area. So you have to set it up and appropriate so that the angle when it's shooting at the little orbs, that it actually hits the target you're aiming for. And I remember that, this can take a while. I remember in past years, I've set it up and walked away, gone down laundry and stuff, come back, check 15 minutes later, still not down, go, do dishes, come back, it's still not down. But this time it seemed to go fairly quickly, but I wanted to try... I set up the laser turret to aim for that last firewall, but then I was like, all right, I'm going to go mess with it and try to do it the correct way as well, and in the meantime, check back and see if it's come down yet or not. And it took, a good long while of me trying to figure out the pattern and everything. And I was, getting there. I was probably about a quarter, a third of the way through when I checked back, and then it was finally down. I was like, oh, okay, we'll just fuck it and just go.
Yeah. Yeah, and typically when I do it, I set up 2 on either side of the walkway, and then 1 towards the middle. And then I set them
multiple would
back
be
just
smart.
a little bit.
Yeah, I only set up 1, and I set it right there, right in front of it too.
Yeah. So
Setting up 3 would be smarter. How many do you get? Do you get 5 of those cannons each level?
I think so. Yeah, because I usually put 2 at each end and 1 in the middle.
Yeah. So yeah, you could set them all 5 up and best orient them to try to aim right at that target. So that's the cheap way to get through it, the cheese way, Jess said, but that's the way I do it. And I was not backing out. Are you supposed to each one be able to back out and go get the treasure and then return to the thing? And
you
then
can absolutely exit at the end. Yeah, so I feel like we kind of jumped right through. Do you want to quickly go through like the order that we do things in on this quest?
Like I said, I just did all the puzzle and then went and collected all the treasure.
Right. No, I think that's how most people do it. That's what I did too.
Prolong that agony.
Yeah.
Yeah, run back in and out and rack in and out every time. Yeah.
I meant go through and the the things you uncover. Like for instance, you do the first puzzle and then you learn a bit about there's a memory about DiMA's time there early on and how things aren't going well with Far Harbor and trying to come up with how to deal with it.
Oh, right.
And then
I didn't pay attention to that shit at all.
Oh no! And then you do puzzle 2, and we'll let our feedback people actually delve into some of the things you learn. If they're interested. So I won't like totally like talk through the whole file or play it or whatever.
Yes, please tell us the memories. That would be great.
But the second one has to deal with, you learn about his secret medical facility, where he did some things and he actually made some choices that he regrets about certain things. And then the third one, you finish the third puzzle and you get information on wind farm maintenance that powers up all the fog collectors that is protecting Far Harbor. So essentially with this, you're learning a way that you could sabotage the wind farm and therefore kill the people of Far Harbor because you would stop their fog collectors from working. Mm-hmm. And DiMA hid this memory, of course, because he couldn't bear to think about the fact he built a kill switch. The fourth one, you go through and you finish that, and that's when you get another information about, you get a clip about him and Nick and their past, which is proof Nick needs to be able to trust or at least be interested in getting to know DiMA a little bit more instead of just rejecting everything he says right out. I'm trying to think, do you also get something about the nucleus on that one?
Yeah, the third one, I think, or second one, you get the location of the nuclear launch key where you can set the submarine to blow up.
On the second one. So basically, if you could stop there, you would kind of learn a way that you could deal with the Children of Adam. With the third, if you stop there, you learn a way that you could deal with the Harbormen. Mm-hmm. Then if you keep going, of course, after 4, you're basically done. But you can choose to go on and do the fifth one. And the fifth one is where you get all the map markers for the marine armor, which in Fallout 4, especially if you're not super high level, is actually really good, unlike 76, where it's just annoying.
Mm-hmm. So DiMA's secret medical facility, the nuclear launch code, and the kill switch. Let's see, the nuclear launch code or the key, obviously to kill the Children of Adam. The wind farm kill switch, obviously, to shut down the fog condensers and let the monsters take over Far Harbor. Is the secret medical facility a way to destroy Acadia, then?
Can be.
Not destroy like the other ones. So you're not going to blow it up.
Okay.
No, but it can get everyone there killed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so he is hiding these memories so that he does not have access to do bad things to the other people on the island, but he is leaving them in the possession of one of the enemy factions of the main, like I would consider the Far Harbor faction the main, like the humans, the main people, and sort of the other two, like the synth, sort of like a side faction, and the Children of Adam also a side faction. But the Harbormen, if you're playing like the normal sort of like Minutemen mainland play style, you're going to side with the Harbormen. I would assume a lot of people do, and siding with Acadia or the children would be like siding with the Institute or the Brotherhood, sort of like up to no good. I want to play the game in a different sort of way. You know what I mean? Like, does that sort of?
It is kind of technically the destroy the Acadia location away too, because when you get into the medical facility, that's where you find the evidence of, like, I think it's like bones or remains of Captain Avery, and you get actual physical evidence of DiMA replacing Captain Avery of the Harbormen there, which you can then take and confront him or bring to the Harbormen and expose him.
Have we seen reference to Avery being a replicant yet, or a synth yet? Sorry.
Yeah, it's talked around in the memories and the first couple memories.
Okay.
It doesn't say specifically, but if you follow the path to the medical facility, then you learn definitely.
Where'd I get replicant? Is that Blade Runner that they're called
Yeah.
replicants?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, Blade Runner is replicant. Yep. We use the word synth here.
Synth. Yeah, synth.
So I hadn't thought about it that way, but I guess you can look at it as each of the memories lead to the downfall of a faction if you want it to.
Okay, so the first three lead to a downfall of each of the factions. The fourth one is
just some good stuff.
Just finishes the section you need to do to go back to DiMA and find balance, I suppose.
And the fifth one is the location of. There's like two sets of armor. It seems like there's a full set of each, like padded, like a helmet and chest, arms, and legs, and then there's also the wetsuit, right? Aren't there?
Well, the wetsuit is an Under Armour, isn't it?
I don't know if you can stack pieces on top of the wetsuit. Can you? I didn't actually test that.
I think you can. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's an Under Armour, like the Vault suit or any of those.
That's cool.
Should be able to.
I wish it had a zipper mouth because it looks like a leather sex suit to me.
Oh, it really does. Yeah.
I have it on Captain Longnuts, and I want to. If I were good at editing video, I would take that scene from Pulp Fiction and be like, "Wake the Gimp." Like, the Gimp's sleeping. Like, if it's Captain Longnuts sleeping there on a bed there in his faction, like, well, you best wake him up now, shouldn't you? That'd just be so appropriate, because I put him in that suit and I'm just like, oh man, he looks like the Gimp from Pulp Fiction. It's hilarious.
Well, I mean, in 76 we have like 4 or 5 varieties of it. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. There's a lot of latex and leather in 76 Under Armours.
Sexy long nuts. That's what we call them now. Sexy long nuts. So did we? Okay. So let's talk about all the where you need to go after Ray. How about when you use a skip mod, does it just take you past the memories and then you have all the map locations?
There's a lot of different ones, but the one that I use, the screen, that you use to enter, into that, instead of taking you into that simulation, it just gives you all the memories. And so you can just access them right there, click on them.
Can you listen to or read his conversations anyway? Okay.
You still do. I think you still need to listen to them, don't you?
No, you can just zip one to the next to the next. The last one you click on will play, but when you click on the first one, it starts playing. You click on the second one, it starts playing, and stops the first one, and so on and so forth down the line.
Yeah, so ostensibly you have to click on them all to listen, but you don't have to finish listening.
And that steps you basically through all the steps of the quest. Okay.
Yeah.
So after you've skipped everything, you have all the map marker locations of the... I'm remembering 3 and then DiMA's cache. And in this cache, is that the wetsuit it must be? Because I think in each of the 3 locations that you have to go diving for... It's like the legs are in one, the arms are another, the chest is in one. Is that correct?
Yeah. But where you go to get his memory,
in the
that
factory.
box just gives you a holotape, I think it is, and a location. So then that takes you to the Vim factory.
And that's where you find the skull. You take the skull and a locket. And the holotape.
Oh, that's Avery's. Right, okay. Her remains.
of Avery. Yeah.
Oh, and that might also have the wind farm code in that cache.
In that area, I thought you got the wind farm code from the second one.
Yeah, you get the wind farm code, and well, you don't get the. You have to go and find the cache elsewhere on the island that has the wind farm code.
Yeah.
Same as you have to go and find the nuclear launch key
Yep.
in
Right.
a location. Yeah. You don't get the key from the computer. The computer just tells you where the key is.
Isn't the key
Same
like
with the
4 feet away?
code for the wind farm. Yeah.
Isn't the key
Oh, it's just you get a marker and you go there and you dig it up. That's basically it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good deal.
Now, if you do like Andrew did and go from the lumberyard where you have to run across, the little string of islands out to where that is, then you've got to fight all of the gulpers and the anglers.
Anglers, fuck them.
Um,
Anglers are tougher in 4 too, I swear.
yeah. If you swim there, they never know you're there.
Anglers are always tough.
Yeah, Ray. Gee
So I
whiz.
just swam up, took the stuff out of the box, and swam away.
It's like Ray's scared of XP, you guys.
Well,
Yeah, he's also successful.
have you seen how shitty my build is?
Oh.
And what level am I?
You've got to be high 30s by now.
Yeah, you're in
Yeah,
the
I think
30s, right?
just got to 39
Attaboy.
after this one was
So
over.
cute. I'll pat you on the head in a very condescending way.
Yeah, so yeah, I do a lot of conflict avoidance.
That is a way to play. It's totally, strategic and valid. I won't hold it against you at all.
There's only a few situations that this build actually is OP. And I don't care how big the enemy is. If I can sneak up behind them without them knowing
Yeah.
and get into melee, close melee range, they're dead.
Did you
They
say you
did.
ripped through a Mirelurk queen with your Ripper thing
Oh,
at one point?
It melts everything.
That's amazing.
The trick is getting to that point and back
Yeah.
without anybody else seeing you.
How's Mirelurk perception? Do they see you coming?
It depends, because if being able to swim, up behind them is helpful. But like when I got to the Vim factory, that was really, really hard.
Well, there's super mutants
because
fucking
The super mutants,
everywhere.
well, and they're spread out. And they've got rocket launchers,
Vantage points where they can
and
see you.
laser rifles, and so that was super tricky to get through.
Did you have Curie with you when you were doing all that?
Oh heck no!
Yeah, I would imagine she would be more of a hindrance at that point. I know they're always a hindrance to you, but like just her getting spotted,
Yeah, for sure. And the thing is that you're constantly having to stop and stim pack her because she walks in front of you, and you've got that Ripper roaring, and I mean you can just see her, her 600, whatever, HP just
Melt
disappear.
away.
And she takes a knee.
One thing I've never really understood about the Ripper, is that a pump your button to keep it engaged or hold it in? Will it constantly
in.
run, just to hold it in and it'll constantly
Yeah.
run? Okay.
It's like a mini chainsaw.
Yep.
Very cool.
So yeah, it's very, very effective in certain circumstances, but most of the time it's a pain in the butt to get to that place. So I just avoid it altogether.
Did you go
Yeah.
gather all the armor pieces and go diving and all that?
I haven't got the armor pieces yet, but I did get the bones and the key, the information about finding the nuclear code.
Okay. Now, I sparked off a couple of quests I had to avoid because they're future assigned quests as well, but which I almost stumbled into.
Well, yes and no. Yes and no. So the thing is that each of these areas, they spark off the quest you can take if you want to do the alternate path. You know what I mean? Like the way life should be, which is the one where you're taking down Acadia. And so a few of them are like that. What is the actual official next quests? I'm looking it up now.
If I'm Children of Adam, can I take out both of the other factions, or is it basically just defeat Far Harbor, turn off the wind turbines, and kill them all there? Can I kill DiMA too? Can I do both? Or is that all sort of wrapped up together?
I think so, especially with you with the Brotherhood. I mean, you've got a way to take out Acadia right there, and then whatever else you do with the other two factions is, your choice.
I need to remember to go back to the mainland and talk to the Brotherhood, keep them informed.
Yep.
I've gotten used to them just being like, all right, thank you, keep us informed. But now that might actually do something. I'm at the point where they might actually take action.
Yeah, once you get back and report in. I mean, here are the two side quests that are marked as optional. So the official next quest we are doing is going to be Close to Home. Okay, Close to Home is the official one that's going to wrap it up. We're going to start wrapping it up. Reformation is optional. And Way Life Should Be or Cleansing the Land. Those are basically Way Life Should Be. You can either, turn people against DiMA, or you can, work with Acadia to kind of find balance. So that's that one quest. You can either destroy them or find the three-way peace.
So
Cleansing the Land is taking out either the Harbormen or the Children of Adam.
So I'll use Avery's remains to turn people against DiMA, and then so that'll shut down Acadia, and then use
Not necessarily.
Oh no. Well, oh God! Will they just replace him and get an even worse leader like they did in the Children of Adam?
No, but if you've done all the stuff for the Harbormen, help them out, then when DiMA gets shot by the taken care of by the Harbormen, then what's his name says, "Let's go kill them all," and several of the
You can
Harbor
talk
people
them down.
say no because the mainlander did all these good things for us, and if you're saying, as the mainlander, you're saying don't do it, and then the people back you up, and so they just leave them.
Okay.
So Arcadia stays there, but without DiMA.
All right. So, but it would be an option for me to take Avery's remains to Far Harbor to get them to eliminate Acadia, and then will I later still have the option of shutting off their fog condensers to kill them as well?
Yes.
This will be awesome.
Also, you may have locked in your fate a little bit already because you have reported the Brotherhood. They know what's up. I don't know if you need to keep reporting back. At some point here, you're definitely going to get orders that you can, take them out and deal with DiMA and the Synth Refuge.
Oh, but I wanted them to come help.
Yeah, do they go to the island for you?
I believe so. I believe you can meet a landing party. Yeah, when you hit a certain point, you can kind of go in and take some people out.
Hope to see a vertibird flying around.
I've never seen it, so I don't know. That's why I'm kind of excited to see what happens.
Yeah, I'll try to find some time to stream that. See if I can get all that to happen. But we're already concluding Far Harbor next set of quests.
In 2 weeks.
That's it.
In 2 weeks. Yep, we're going to wrap up how we handle them.
I still feel like we just got here.
Can I tell you, June? So we were talking about it. I'm like, I wonder if 6 weeks is too long for just Far Harbor. Trying to figure out what we should do, the number of sessions, 6 or 8 weeks. And, but I feel like June has gone by so fast. I do feel like we just got here.
Yeah.
But this is technically our third Far Harbor episode.
Wow.
We had the arriving and making our way to Acadia. Then we had the everybody talks too much for hours and hours. And then we had this one. So this is our third section.
Are we heading straight to Nuka World, or do we have an automatron pause?
We've got a automatron in between. Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. So basically let's see. So it'll be July 14th. So we still got 2 weeks before we actually technically wrap up, of course, because we've got feedback next week. But so we wrap up Far Harbor July 14th. And then we are going to Automatron after that for 2 weeks and hitting Nuka World in August 11th.
Okay, so is there just one Automatron episode then? 'Cause
Yeah,
there's
just
only,
one.
I've already done the first quest of it because that's just discovering Ada and that battle and everything there.
Yeah, that's why
Yeah.
when I put it on the list, I put
Likely
Mechanical
already
Menace,
done.
likely already done.
Yeah.
So we're going to do a new threat, head hunting, and restoring order because they all just flow one into the other pretty quick.
Yeah, it tumbles pretty quickly, right?
Mhm.
Ray, we about to say something there?
So I think I'm going to have to side with DiMA. One, because nobody else is, and two, so the quest or the perk you get is called Protector of Acadia.
What's that get you?
When your health falls below 20%, you gain 1,000 damage resistance and energy resistance for 30 seconds.
Wow, that's significant. That's like
power armor.
Yeah, but I was gonna say, what's that perk that when you almost die at
Nerd Rage?
Nerd Rage, yeah, that's like Nerd Rage, but
Yep.
it's more significant even. Holy cow!
What's the perk you get from blowing up the nucleus?
Yeah, what are those? Do you have all that in front of you?
That's a damage resistance one too, isn't it?
Probably rad resistance, right?
Let's see.
Which is useless because we're leaving the fog now.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure which you.
No. So if you side with the Harborman, you get Harbor Survivalist, which is plus $5 resistances.
Meh.
If you side with the Children of Adam,
you get a mother statue. And a swift kick in the butt.
So you get a bonus to your weapon damage the higher your radiation is.
Bloodied.
Yeah, kind of. It kind of works that way. Good times. But yeah, so that's for 2 weeks. So, really the way this works with Far Harbor, you don't think about it when you're doing it because you're so involved with the way it all kind of blends together. But there really is just one kind of central quest line that is actually not that long as we're seeing. But then, in order to get reputation with the factions, you can do the Children's Atom stuff and get reputation with them on the various quests, reputation with the Harbormen or reputation with Acadia. And in that kind of influence the events and the way the events unfold. If you get a point where you got to talk people down, if you got enough rep, or you've got to convince the children to do this, if you got enough rep,
Now that we've gone through the Blue Nightmare portion, Jess, will you load a mod that skips you through it, or will you actually put yourself through the puzzles?
I'm 100% going to do it. I owe that to you guys.
You don't owe me anything.
It's been so long since I've done it. I kind of feel I have to, because also if I'm talking about how, I kind of like it, and then don't do it, like, really? Come on.
She's
No.
going to report back next week. Oh, my God.
Yeah, exactly. I need to know now that I'm there. But yeah, so that's the quest. Now we've got feedback from Solar. Did we want to play that this week, or do we want to save it for the feedback week next week?
Well, I just didn't know if we wanted, 20 minutes of Solior next week, so I didn't know if we want to go ahead and play the...
I don't know if he's going to have any more for next week or not.
I think he does, because he mentioned this is part 2, and part 3 will be next week, so...
Okay, yeah, let's wrap it up then. Let's get this in now. We'll hear a little bit about his take on this quest, then we can play a game and get out of here.
All right, sounds good.
As we dance in the air, we make feedback.
Hello, fellow Wastelanders. Eric, aka Solior here, and here is part 2 of my Far Harbor wrap-up. So, yeah, I entered DiMA's Blue Nightmare. I know a lot of you guys have a mod that lets you skip that. That is cheating on my part, and you should be really ashamed of yourselves. 'Cause if I have to do this shit, then everybody else should too. But anyway, so yeah, I entered DiMA's Blue Nightmare, and I did fine. I was doing this on stream, and I wanted to figure it out on my own. I've done it before, and I knew that the last room had a trick to it, so I did fine up until the last room. Like, the second to last room did take me a little bit to figure it out, but I did it, and I felt smart, because when you figure things out on your own without help, you do feel smart. But I for the life of me couldn't figure out the last room. Because I couldn't really figure out how to get the laser, like the beam, to go up or down. And there was just always a block that was in the way. So after getting frustrated, I ended the stream and I looked it up and I felt really stupid. Because, I posted a video of this in Discord and in the Facebook group, but the laser turrets can be used to hit the sweet spot and remove the barrier. So after that, I spent almost an hour trying to figure this shit out, when the solution can take 1 minute to 2 minutes. So what you do is you set blocks down right in front of where the sweet spot is, and you put laser turrets around it, so when the enemy bots that come to take out the memory bugs start swarming, the laser turrets will target them, and if it hits the spot, then the barrier comes down. I felt like an idiot, but then again, who would think that a laser turret would work? So, yeah, I collected DiMA's memories, and then I did a few things before taking them back to Acadia. So I went back to the pier, and I did all 3 of Cassie Dalton's quests. The first quest wasn't really that hard, just taking out some ghouls. Second quest, I had to take out a glowing fog crawler, which that was fun. Dogmeat got hurt in the process, so I couldn't find him. So I ended up having to make a trip back to the Red Rocket to pick him up. But one thing that was kind of nice about this was the fact that by the time I got there, it was dark, and that made the glowing fog crawler easy to see. So then also, went back and did the quest to take out the trapper that killed her husband. So, went and took Douglas out and killed him, of course. On the way back, I cleared out the bowling alley that Jeff was talking about, so that was fun. I grabbed the striker and sold it to Alan for the caps. It sounds like a fun weapon. I just don't really know when I would use it, not to mention it's like 30 pounds, so that's a lot to carry. Then I took a trip to the Vim plant, and it was absolutely crawling with super mutants, and grabbed the red Vim power armor and made my way to the basement to find out that, spoilers, Avery is a synth, and she'd been murdered by DiMA. So after that, I went to the Grand Harbor Hotel, killed more super mutants there, and got the location for the nuclear launch code. The story behind that was really messed up. Definitely listen to those holotapes when you get them, because that was pretty damn dark. I will say that this quest caused the most crashing that I've had since coming to Far Harbor. I crashed several times in that hotel, and multiple times it was when I was trying to leave. I thought there for a minute I was screwed and I wouldn't be able to proceed, but I did get lucky. It was specifically when I would finish listening to one of the holotapes before I left the hotel. Exiting while listening to it, it was fine. So, yeah. Got the launch code from the sub, and then at first I was like, okay, I'm Harborman. I don't need to... why am I doing this? But it was nice for the experience points. So, I did end up using it. I'll get to that in the third part of all of this. So, but that's where I'm going to stop for now. So, I will see you all in the wasteland.
I couldn't get out that hotel, crashing you out. That stinks. Too bad. All right, guys. We'll look forward to hearing the conclusion of your Far Harbor adventures there next week. I'm assuming you'll send it in next week with the rest of the feedback there, Mr. Solior. Looking forward to hearing from you. Sorry, Jess.
while he was doing that, I found the perk is Far Harbor Survivalist. If you blow up the nucleus, and you get +5 to all resistances, including damage, energy, poison, and radiation.
What does that actually equal, though? I mean, I know it's +5, but 5 is that 5 points? I always hate this because
however
like
many points you have to
percentage.
start with.
Yeah.
If you got a lot, I suppose it doesn't matter much. But if you've only got a few points, it could double it. Who knows?
And 5 points of poison resistance when that Mirelurk Queen is spraying at you. Will that do anything? Probably not, right? Like it'll still just melt through whatever you got. So
yeah, because that's just a constant thing for a while, isn't it?
Yeah. So based on just the perks you get, I think siding with Acadia is the smartest one to go for, right?
Could be.
That's the biggest reward.
Yeah.
Yep.
And even though the children,
that's the good path.
and even though the children are a bunch of creeps,
Yeah. Well, it's not all that good.
No, when I say good, I don't mean literally good, but I mean that is the way the quest is set up.
Not in a moral way.
The story, kind of the good path, like actually brokering a peace as an option.
Well, in 2 weeks, we'll find out what it takes to broker that peace.
Yeah, that's true. It's true. It takes a lot, and you may not like the choices.
Yeah, it's not that happy sunshine.
You may have to lock your memory away and throw away the key. Yeah, totally. But
or at least make the key a stupid thing to find.
totally. Okay, so thank you for the feedback, Solaire. That was awesome.
Yes,
Did you want to get into that game? I think we got some contestants lined up.
Oh, sweet. We got contestants, so let's do a little game time. Game time! This week on Game Time, another quick list here, a Scream at Your Phone list. Being 4th of July here in the United States coming up this week, I've put together a little Scream list called KaBOOM, where we will go over some fireworks here. But Jess, I'd like for you to play for Swirl, and Ray, I'd like for you to play for Mr. Sullivan, and we'll see if either of them can win themselves a t-shirt.
Did I lose for Swirl the other day? Like, if I lose for Swirly twice, she's going to take out a hit on me.
Oh, do you want to flip? Ray, do you want to play for
I'm
Swirl?
good.
Okay.
Let's do this. Live dangerously.
All right.
I mean, I don't mind playing for Swear I'm Mortal.
Swear I'm Mortal. We'll never get her name right. All right. So this week on Game Time, we're playing KaBOOM. In your Wasteland Workshop DLC, were added some mortars for fireworks. There are 6 kinds of fireworks that you could pop out in Fallout 4. I would like for you to list for me the 6 different varieties of fireworks in Fallout 4. Ray, by your face, you look very confident.
Good Lord.
Ray, please start
I'm
us
not
off.
playing this.
Oh, Clint, I'll throw to you. You're just not playing for a contestant in the don't
bother.
Don't bother.
Just pass it on because I don't know any.
Ray, can you tell me at least one kind of firework listed in the Fallout 4 Vault-Tec Workshop? Or contraptions? It might have been contraptions. I don't remember which DLC added the fireworks, but you know what I mean.
Holy crap. Weather clearing.
No, Jess for the win.
I want to say trail fireworks because it was in 76, but no, I don't remember these. Andrew, this is ridiculous. Oh my gosh, I haven't done any of Vault-Tec Workshop yet, really. How about, are they based on colors? Is it like red, green, blue? Is it something like as simple as that?
Jess, for the win. Red. You win. Good job,
Yes.
Swirl.
Okay. Is there like a Vault Boy firework too? I feel like there's colors and then a Vault Boy.
No. But now that you guys have a better direction of it, Ray, do you want to guess any others?
Blue.
Blue, attaboy, Ray. Jess, back to you.
I'm in with green.
No. Oh, actually, yes, green. Good job. Ray, back to you. Can you clear the list, you guys? There's 1, 2, 3 left.
Roy G. Biv, Ray. Roy G. Biv or Clint.
Black's not there, is it?
Black. Black as night.
Fireworks you set off during the day.
Oh, there you go. That'd work.
So let's go with the yellow.
Yellow is on the list. Good job, Ray. Back to you, Jess. Got 2 left.
How about purple? Or maybe it's called violet, but
Nope, no purple. I mean, Swirl, you already won this, but Ray, you guys want to clear off the list? Ray, do you know any more?
It's white.
No white. Clint, how about you? Do you have any guesses you want to throw in?
Did we guess orange yet?
No orange. All right, I'll clear off the list for us here.
Lilo.
Well, actually, if I wanted to make it super complicated, I could have been a real jerk, even though this was, sort of a jerk list anyway. There were two different patterns.
Is it like star and...
Palm is the star, and peony is the other shape. It's like a flower or a star shape.
Okay, yep.
There is palm gold, and the other one you didn't get was peony pink. But okay, so the list is palm gold, peony blue, peony green, peony pink, peony red, and peony yellow. So only one palm and 5 different peony shades. Gold, blue, green, pink, red, and yellow. Congratulations, Swirl. Hit me up on the email with your address, and I will get you a shirt off in the mail. Congratulations to our recent winners. Clint, you got one a couple weeks ago. Have you received your Everyone Hates That shirt yet?
Not yet. No, what I've found, I checked that today because I've had a look at the tracking thing, and yeah, it is coming from the States this time.
Is it really?
Weird. Why would it do that?
I'm sure the last one came from within Australia.
No, they did previously. Yeah, coffee mugs and shirts. There was a printer in Australia. That's why I went with this company, among other reasons.
Oh,
yeah, because I got record of the purchase happening. So yeah, I don't know.
Well, hopefully
maybe they are closing down the Australian location.
Hopefully you didn't have to pay more in shipping than the actual item is worth, because that's usually what happens.
Might have a little bit.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't too bad.
Okay. That's annoying. I'm sorry.
But,
well, maybe we'll look into that a little more.
Not a worry. I've got a cheaper T-shirt than I normally get from overseas.
Yeah.
I think the last one I got from Bethesda was like $80 or something.
Oh my
goodness.
Yeah.
Okay, so I am not completely crazy.
What happened? Did you look them up?
So, looking at the list for the pyrotechnics mill.
I didn't look at that list. Oh, right. That must be in the contraptions workshop then.
Yeah. So there's a weather changing shell.
Oh, nice.
A weather changing shell clear, weather changing radstorm, and weather changing rain.
Wait, will those prevent or bring about those?
Bring about those. Because I know I've seen the weather changes used in videos before.
So I was a dick anyway with the list.
So
what list did I look up? Just fireworks.
Was correct in that those were only the fireworks
just
shell.
The fireworks, yes, but not the
not everything that you can make in the pyrotechnics mill.
Bad research on my part, you guys. So what you're saying is I should have had a longer list of harder items. Is that what Ray wants?
Or pick something that was sane.
I was gonna say it might have been easier. Yeah, a harder list of items might have been easier, of course. But hey, we got it. We understood.
Yeah.
We figured out the assignment.
You did it. Good job. So congratulations, Swirl. Get you a shirt off in the mail. And other recent winners, like I mentioned, Clint also had one off to Archin last week. And our guest, Jeff, also had a recent T-shirt one. So congratulations, guys. Thanks for listening live to the Fallout feed. If you would like a opportunity to win a prize on our show, please join our Discord and listen to our live broadcast on Friday evenings around 10:30 to 11 o'clock U.S. Eastern Time on Friday evenings. Thanks so much, you guys. All right, what else we got tonight, Jess? We got some iguana bits and such?
You know, we got a quick iguana bits, but the truth is we covered a lot of it during Ray's gameplay, which is good.
Okay.
Basically, just the surprise PTS. I wanted to kind of just shout out the way that they called that out, like dropping the, new PTS build releases today, you guys, inside the vault. This was just yesterday.
Huh.
You know, new PTS. We're eager to hear your feedback, but we're not going to tell you what it is. And I thought that was really neat because not only is it interesting in that it piques our interest, but it's a good way to get more participation, because one of the things about the PTS is you're bringing in your regular character and people are beelining to check the new content, and nothing wrong with that. But a lot of people, when they know what it is, they don't have the curiosity, and so they just don't bother. And this way, I think that, Ray couldn't resist, for instance.
Yeah.
No, I mean, this was probably the only way they could have ever made me get back in the game.
Yeah. Last time they got me to do PTS was about camp slots. Like, I haven't done a PTS in a year and a half, 2 years. It's been a while anyway. So yeah, it's very sneaky, and there might be more. We don't know. And so we kind of have to log in to find out.
Though I do feel like this is sort of ominous, though, at the same time. Because why the need for new character rerolls? Are they going to have something in the future that's going to make me have to start another new character? I don't want
Maybe
that.
you'll just want to. Okay, you know what? Let's jump to the next thing real quick then. People seeing this like, wait, but nobody knew who's playing the game. Guys, long-term players, get over yourselves. Because if you might recall, last September, there were about 11 million people played. When they announced stats at December, 13.5 million people have played our game. And in most recent, talking about number of people playing the game during the, I believe it was either during the conference or during some of the information in one of the interviews around the conference just happened, they've said over 15 million people. Okay, people are playing Fallout 76, and even just the last year, we've gotten 4 or 5 million new players. So I just kind of want to shout that out. There are still new people starting.
All those numbers are cumulative. How many new players monthly are there who are consistently playing, who pick it up and don't put it down? You know what I mean?
Okay. So these are two different stats. So we're talking about the onboarding new player experience. And in the last year, about 4 million people have gone through the onboarding new player experience. Okay. And that's logical. I mean, that makes sense, right? They've all had to go through the vault, make a character, get out the vault. Now, did they keep playing beyond that? I don't know so much, but this will give them a better onboarding experience with the new system. And as we find other things, maybe there'll be more.
That's not like old players starting a new character.
No, that's not. No, that's actually new players. So, they keep track of how many people have played 76 total. And that's what they talk about, the player count. And I just think it's interesting in the last year, it's gone up by, about 4 million. But that does make sense. And obviously, are they all sticking with it? No, of course not. In fact, probably most aren't. But we know the game has had a better rep. I mean, they had a big burst post Wastelanders. Then it's been up and down since then, but it's had a pretty good rep the last year. People came in for the pit, but didn't love it. Other people came back for Nuka World and loved it. Personally, I know a bunch of people. I mean, as someone who streams, I'm constantly kind of on the forefront of actually talking to people in chat who are like, hey, I just picked this up. This is great. Hey, I've been playing for 2 weeks. Oh my gosh, how do you do this? How do you do that? And every session, every time I'm streaming for at least 2-3 hours, I have 1 or 2 pop in. And that's just me. You know what I mean? So I'm sure there are people seeing it too. Like they are out there happening.
How much does the game cost these days?
Well, if you have Game Pass, it's pretty much nothing. And then if you're actually going to, buy an edition, I think it's probably, what is it, 20 or 29 now? It's either 20 or 30.
Okay. And then leads to my next question. If you have Game Pass on Xbox, then it's $1 a month. No, it's more than that, isn't it?
No, it's if you pay monthly, it's $14.99 a month.
$14.99.
There's a couple different tiers. There's Game Pass Ultimate. There's the various things, but basically you're paying $15 a month or less if you do 3 months at a time.
Does PlayStation have the same service that they call something else?
Yeah. So PlayStation has PS Plus, which now has 3 tiers. That's really evolved. That's a whole thing. But long story short, for the longest time, they didn't have an actual Game Pass competitor. About a year and a half or so ago, they announced a tiered program to PS Plus. Actually, it might have even just been last summer, where there's PS Essentials, PS Plus, and like PS Plus 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 or some. I forget the highest tier. And they each have things, but it's not really a Game Pass competitor in that there's a library, but they're not bringing their first party games day one to it, like Xbox has the Game Pass and a few other things that are different.
And I know ongoing games from like this point on that like Starfield will not be available on PlayStation, correct? Because it's
right. Yeah. Well, no, that is an exclusive. Yeah, that's going to be just on Xbox, and PC and your phone if you have Game Pass. Stuff like
76 is still available on Xbox and will be in perpetuity, correct?
Yeah, PlayStation. Yep.
Or PlayStation.
Absolutely. Yeah, same with ESO and some other games. But anyway, that's the PTS. So we kind of got off track there, but I did want to kind of address that whole new players are starting. The game still has a lot of life in it. We know there's more content coming. But in this surprise inside the vault as well, they talk about Atlantic City again. And they use this line: "We've been working hard behind the scenes to prepare for our journey to Atlantic City and can't wait for you to experience this new area. Before we venture to the boardwalk, however, we have some changes to the base game experience we're eager to hear your feedback on in our public test server." So there may be other changes. And the way they talk about Atlantic City, well, we think from things that we've heard that it's going to be early next year. I mean, when they originally showed that trailer, I'm like, oh, is that going to be the expedition this fall? Like we had Pitt last year.
And
maybe it is because they haven't said a date specifically yet. It was just kind of at the end of one of the videos during like the extended stuff after the conference that someone mentioned next year. So I don't really know. Like, I haven't seen an official statement.
Ray, no indication of anything Atlantic City in the PTS that you saw?
No.
No. Okay.
Well, he didn't head in that direction.
Right.
Well, I didn't know if there was like a little brochure at the exit of the vault, like, hey, look at our new, like, take a tram over to AC, get yourself, don't forget your ballistic weave because you'll get shanked, but, you need to get ready.
Also, just want to say, starting July 4th, it's not just fireworks that you need to think about because aliens are coming back. So yes, this Tuesday coming up, next Tuesday, Alien Invaders come back for 2 weeks. That's when the event will start for that. Actually, not 2 weeks. It's only 1 week. It's from the 4th to the 11th. So we get 1 week of Aliens.
Okay.
They'll be in the dailies for sure.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to say one thing I didn't mention last week that I thought was cool too. If you guys haven't seen, there are collectible cards with the events. So not only do these events have a lot of unique item drops with 4 or 5 different legendary weapons at the different events and things you can get. And oh my gosh, by the way, the Blue Devil werewolf plush is really adorable. He's a good boy. It looks like a dog way more than a werewolf. But there's these collectible cards. You can get a little kind of display case and you get a full set of cards. It's a fun little gotta catch 'em all thing. And I didn't mention it before, so I thought I would.
Is it for all the cryptids or because I've noticed a couple of the cards that I have. I was like, oh, what are these?
Yes. Yep. Yeah, it's for all the cryptids, which you'd think it's kind of more of a Rip Daring thing, but they didn't. Yeah. Maybe they were planning on it for Rip Daring, and then like, wait, we got 2 more cryptids coming out. Let's just do it with the new events.
So, do you win the display case as one of the new items from one of the new events? Is that a plan you get, or where's the?
I think you actually unlock the display case on the scoreboard.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
Don't write a check on that, but I'm pretty sure. Like it's a pretty low rank, like I don't know, 6 or 15. I mean, somewhere in the first part because I've got it.
Yeah. I haven't done the new events a ton yet. A couple of times on the turtle one, and I don't even know if I've gotten the wolf one yet. But I did as a reward, get the turtle backpack, which I put on my character, and it is fucking adorable. It looks really cute. So I do like that the turtle shell backpack. It's very fun. Makes me feel like Bowser or something from Mario. It's very
Yeah,
very
that
cute.
Brahmin backpack is nice too. Turtle
I
shell.
haven't
You
seen,
feel
I
like
haven't seen
Bowser.
that one yet.
Just put on area chat and start singing Peaches while running around. It'll go over great.
Peach. Will do.
Perfect.
Yeah, we bought the Mario movie a couple weeks ago, and it's been playing on repeat in our house. I'm very familiar with the Peaches song. Yeah.
You're like, I'm a little too familiar
Little too
at
familiar
this
with the
point.
Peaches.
But yeah, so the trading cards are Beast of Beckley, Blue Devil, Flatwoods Monster, Grafton Monster, Jersey Devil, Mothman Card, Augie the Agua, and Sheep Squatch.
Very fun. All right. Well, I'll have to look how to set that up and get a little display going. Oh, Jess, I stopped by one of your camps the other day. It was you had the yard sale one.
The yard sale camp, the one where I was doing one of every floor item.
It's
I bet you felt right at home there.
very fun. It's like sort of a spiral almost, like everything organized in circles. It's very fun. I thought that was really cool. And it's like someone else was walking around doing the shrug emoji, and I'm like, hey, man, fuck you. This is cool.
Yeah, I love it. It definitely confused people. Actually, I had one person stop by who was like all confused by it, but then I put down my shelter because I needed a craft. So I plopped a shelter down in the middle there, and they followed me in, and then they dropped me a couple of new event rewards too, like a couple of new outfits I hadn't gotten yet and stuff like that. So that was sweet.
Ooh,
I guess they liked it too.
Fun. Yeah, I just thought that was really...
Oh,
I
the Milkman
hadn't
outfit?
actually seen it yet. Milkman?
Have you seen that yet?
No. That sounds great, though.
Gosh, yeah, it's from Safe and Sound. So that's the one that's dealing with, the caravan and is more Brahmin based, we get that backpack. And it's hilarious. It's like such a Milkman outfit with a little bow tie and it's all white.
I wish your main weapon, like it gave you, like you have like a 6-pack of milk and they're Molotovs or something. That'd be fun.
We have a spoiler in chat from Squirtle, and she says, I saw a video that compared the chords from Peaches and Never Gonna Give You Up. Spoiler alert, they were the same.
Oh my God, how dare.
I can't, if they are rickrolling us with Peaches, I will never be the same.
I think Sorrel just rickrolled us is what happened there.
That's amazing. But yeah, and then finally, final thing. So I know sometimes in Iguana Bits, I get into the greater gaming news, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to this time. We're not doing that. Okay. It's a long, long show. But during the ever so exciting FTC hearings about Microsoft's acquisition of Activision, 2 Fallout tidbits came out that I do think are relevant and interesting.
Oh, yes.
So, yes. So let me just kind of remember the one real quick. Well, let me go to the more in-depth one first, because suddenly the other one slipped my mind. So one thing that came out, or a lot of things that have come out, are dealing with leaked emails or emails that they've had to submit as evidence based on their attitude towards, consumer protections, towards sharing properties, towards keeping properties, etc. And between a letter from Phil Spencer to a lot of the staff, Phil Spencer, of course, being head of Xbox, talking about Fallout 76. And essentially, some people are interpreting this wrong, but it's essentially about leveraging their portfolio for PlayStation Now. And the fact that people are saying, we've got a lot of properties, rather than, making deals about them one at a time, leverage our entire portfolio to get better rates overall for things, which makes sense. I mean, that's how a lot of companies do, whether they're putting their lineup in cable or what have you. And Phil said this about 76 being in PS Now, because that had been, Fallout 76 had been put in PS Now. That's their cloud gaming version of PS Plus. This is back before they got the new tiers I was talking about. And so this was essentially their cloud streaming service, like RX Cloud on Xbox. And he said, I'm fine with 76 in PS Now. We've not allowed Minecraft to support PS Now, as we do see it as competition to Game Pass. We don't need to support their financial position, which would just allow them to compete more effectively with Game Pass. But I don't know why I feel differently about Fallout 76, so open to conversation here. In my view, Fallout 76 is in this interesting place. Obviously, it started rough. The team stays focused on improving and finding a larger audience. It feels like we either need to see this thing getting to 10 million monthly active users across all platforms, or decide to move on from it. And if you believe PS Now can support it gaining relevance, then I'm supportive of it being there. And then he goes on talking about, collective capability to negotiate. But I looked at that number and that 10 million monthly active users, and I'm like, on what planet? It blew my mind a little bit because we're here talking about amounts. That's why I wanted to save some of that conversation. So I started thinking about the actual numbers because we're talking about that. And obviously, if only 15 people have played, we probably don't have 10 million monthly active. And in order to be one of 10 million monthly active, all you have to do is come out of score retirement for a second and just like log in once. Redeem an Atom Shop item. Like as long as you use something that interacts with the game within a month, you become a monthly active user. So do you want to hear kind of like some really basic numbers that I kind of working out, like kind of my thought on it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So anytime you check, you can't necessarily see everyone playing on the platform. There's not a good way to track that that's publicly available. However, on Steam, you can see Steam active users, and Steam will report how many people at this moment in time are currently playing a game. So Fallout 76 on Steam ranges between, depending on time of day and day of the week, between 7,000 and 15,000 active users at any given time. Okay, so that's at a snapshot. Like this hour, there are this many people playing. Okay, so if you figure, let's average that up between, that's about like 12,000. Okay, if that's just 1 hour of the day, obviously you're not going to say, oh, well, that times 24 to get 24 hours. That would be ridiculous. But if the average player plays for 3-4 hours a session, let's say even make it like an 8-hour session, then over the course of the day, for it to maintain that level of players, you would figure there's probably about 30,000, like say 8-hour period in 24 hours. That would be 3 times like 12. So you get like 33,000 or so in a day on a single platform PC. Now, there are more people who own PlayStations, and there are, but 76 has a higher attach rate on Xbox. So even if these are all the same, and I'm making, I'm just rounding, at any given time in a day, that probably, say if it's 33,000 on each system, that becomes about 100,000 daily active users. So 100,000, you only need to have variance over the course of a month of 10. You know what I mean? Like rotating like 10 in there to get to even 1 million. So it is not inconceivable in my mind, given the daily active user count being around 100,000 or so on the average, of course, totally average, because it does vary widely if you watch the numbers bounce. And that's just Steam. And we know it's actually higher on Xbox and a little bit lower on PlayStation. It's not inconceivable that you've got enough variance that, rotating people in and out of 10 or so to get 1 million. Does that sound reasonable to you, Ray, or does that sound just like wildly inflated?
No, I mean, it works. These numbers are so hard to deal with because they, it can be such small, increments. Like in the month of June, Ray is a daily active user.
yes, he was.
Because I logged in to see if I still, had access to the game.
Yeah.
So I think it's certainly, it helps by spreading it out on more platforms.
Mm-hmm.
And, I think it's attainable. These numbers are so hard to, really have any, put your finger on. They're the only ones that can do it.
Right, exactly. And when you look at when this letter is dated, this was from September of 2021. So we know that we're now later in the life cycle. So it's a little bit less likely now than it was almost 2 years ago, as far as that. But I just feel like in order for him to even say 10 million as a possible goal, like maybe, we want to see this thing get there or whatever, that it must have not been like an outsized factor. Like they must have at some point been seeing a good 1 million monthly active users. May not be currently, but I would think in the past, which is better than you think, because if someone came up to me on the street before I saw this letter and started thinking about it and looking at what we can see for numbers, I'd be like, monthly active users in Fallout, probably a couple 100,000, So the idea that it could be more is actually kind of exciting, especially with all the people coming in. Because to your point earlier, Andrew, like how many of these people play and stick around? Most people, if you get people starting and trying 76, if they like it, if they actually like the game, which I would feel like a significant portion would at least somewhat, they probably play for a good 3-4 months, maybe 6 months or longer, and then you get the long termers, which were a little more rare, but we just don't stop.
Yeah, Jess is talking about 8-hour play sessions. I'm like, what world are you living in? It's like I get a 20-minute play session, but I guess that's
I'm
still
talking
counts.
grinders.
That
Race. Clint. Yeah.
That still counts for their stats, though. They probably wouldn't differentiate between someone who only plays 20 minutes and someone who plays 8 hours.
Yeah, and I specifically went high just because I didn't want to pad the numbers too much and keep it within reason.
Yeah.
Also, those numbers are from 21. Did you say?
The goal when the letter came out about 10 million, that was from around 2021. The daily active user fluctuation is now. Yeah.
Pandemic, right? People were home.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, and the game's still going, so
They must
obviously
have hit
it
their
hasn't,
threshold, right?
failed to the point where they're like, okay, now we're shutting her down.
They're adding more ways to make money, but
all that lovely Fallout First money still coming in, obviously.
Yep.
And then the second thing that came out was essentially about the idea that there really was a bit of FAFO, like mess around and find out. Okay, where essentially one of the largest catalysts for Microsoft buying Bethesda is because of the pattern that Sony had of purchasing exclusive games from third-party developers and making games exclusive without actually buying the company. So how after the purchase of Bethesda, we talked about how both Ghostwire Tokyo and Deathloop, which are both Bethesda games, not Bethesda Game Studios, but Bethesda companies, were exclusive to PlayStation for the first year because PlayStation was heavily negotiating those kind of deals. And it costs a bit less to make a game exclusive to, a single game exclusive to your console than to, buy a company and, make them permanently exclusive. But word came down, there was a heavy rumor, which we saw reported at the time, that Sony was trying to get the rights to Starfield too. And the idea that Starfield could be a PlayStation exclusive, which of course, especially at the time, PlayStation wouldn't release on PC, which doesn't even make sense for Bethesda. But if they could make it a PlayStation exclusive, we wouldn't have it on PC, we wouldn't have it on Xbox. And Microsoft said, no, that's too far. And that was the biggest catalyst for them going ahead. And I'm sure there were other things, but that was the biggest catalyst that we've heard about that they've admitted to for why they felt like they had to make a deal and purchase Bethesda to actually protect some of this content from another company making it exclusive. And yes, then they turn around and they do make a significant portion of the Bethesda stuff exclusive themselves.
We'll show you.
Yeah, which makes sense within that. But, the overall prior to that, they hadn't
money.
And prior to that, they hadn't been as much. So I just thought that was interesting that it was kind of, in a way, Sony's actions that kind of forced their hand, at least in their opinion. Yeah. But those are the two Fallout-related stories from the ongoing saga. And oh my gosh, it's like Tiger King in there. It's been pretty exciting to watch the trial.
Bad blood. All right, thanks for the Iguana Bits update. Let's check in with a couple of shouts on our way out the door. Looks like we've got some scorecations flowing in already. So I'd like to extend a hearty welcome to Scorecation to Alex. I assume this is Nino.
Scorecation!
That is Nino, yep. And then my friend Kevin St. Joe has hit it.
All right, Kevin.
Scorecation!
Now...
And...
Sorry, go ahead.
I have a third that I didn't list there, but we have one more person who occasionally listens to the show is Hot Rod Fiend from Rad Cats Rule. They're a group that often they do a lot of grinding over on PlayStation, and Hot Rod Fiend hit it in less than 24. I think it was 16 hours. Yeah, it was less than 24 hours.
What?
Scorecation!
How's that even possible? What'd they do?
Yeah, he has techniques. I couldn't believe it.
So, do these people take Scorecation as... They must not do it as I do, because they want to speed through the scoreboard to get all the items to continue to play the game, whereas I use it as a method so I can step away from the daily challenges for the rest of the the period, right? These people.
Yeah, I've seen it both ways. I've seen some people
playing.
grind it and then stop, like Alex has in the past. But I think right now, even though he hit that goal, he's now trying to get everything from the new events. So if he doesn't have that yet, he'll keep on doing that. But
He's got a checklist of the events too,
yeah,
right?
but I can't speak for what motivates different people necessarily. But I do think a lot of people with the season, they will hit it hard and then still take their own scorecation. You know what I mean? And feel like they don't have to play.
And when you were talking about the cucumbered game earlier, Ray dropped a name, and I totally missed it. I tried to get to the sound file before, but the conversation moved on. But I just realized that I know that the name was mentioned, and I would be amiss if I didn't give acknowledgement to our good friend. He's Mr. Cucumbered, so congratulations, Lee.
He's not listening tonight.
Poor Lee. Wouldn't be surprised if he's asleep on a keyboard somewhere. All right. Hey, does anybody have anything else they would like to bring up tonight?
All good. I think we're under 3 hours. I'm excited.
Well, in that case, I would like to mention that you can follow him at ClintSC9 on Twitter. Clint, any other sites or anything you'd like to mention?
No, not really. I'm in the Facebook group.
Facebook group,
that's about it.
And he
That's-
dawdles over there
my
on the Discord too. So join our Discord.
My last tweet was about 3 years ago.
Attaboy. So he's very active on Twitter. Hey, Clint, it's whiskey time.
No, not tonight.
Not tonight. Too many painkillers.
Yeah, too many painkillers. Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll heal up, sir. And thank you so much for hopping on the show tonight. Great to hear from you.
My pleasure, as always.
You can find him over there at BBCISSS for the Butcher, Baker, Candlemaker in Space show for all of your No Man's Sky needs. Also at Ray LB. Ray, thanks so much for hopping on.
Good times.
You can find her at You Wastelanders for all your camp building needs. Also at Dames Who Game and at Sleep is 4T. Jess, thanks so much.
DiMA's Memories, here I come.
I am at Indie Android. The show can be found at the Fallout Feed. I'd like to thank everyone for downloading this edition of the Fallout Feed, and we will see you in the Wasteland.
Thank you for downloading this episode of the Fallout Feed Roundtable. If you are interested in doing a play-along character with us, the show can be contacted by emailing falloutroundtable@gmail.com. For the Roundtable schedule, our Amazon link, and all other show information, please head on over to asapodcasting.com, where you will find the Fallout Feed, a Skyrimatic podcast, our YouTube channel, the Chatterbox, as well as other content. Once again, thank you for downloading, and we'll see you in the Wasteland.
When to do Red Death?
Oh,
Nope.
yeah,